Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. As Joe wraps up the first week of radio only, after you retired from TV, you just literally sat there and goes, 4 o'clock already? We're on?
We're on.
You hear the music and we're on? It's like getting that routine down.
Didn't know if I was ready to go or not. I had everything laid out here, ready. The camera's on, the computer's over here, and then I hear the music going.
You know, it's interesting because what we didn't hear today, which awful analogy, but why not? So you're used to 25 years in television of when you hear Bill Taylor start yapping, you know you're up next.
Right.
Typically speaking, especially the last week and a half or 2 weeks, we're hearing the Jerry Springer show on Paul with some yelling and screaming, going back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And we know, okay, we're up next, right? That's been our, and he didn't have that today. So I think that's why it didn't feel like his show was winding down the way it typically does with a lot of weird ass people screaming at each other on the phone.
Yeah, it is. Jerry Springer's a great way to describe that show that's on before us. So,
the great Paul Feinbaum.
Feinbaum, that's him.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I mean, you get into a routine, and at 10 o'clock, I mean, I kind of look at the clock, you know where and when it's time to start to head to the studio. We were in the studio because I saw the clock. It was like 3:45. I said, well, I better go in, get everything set up. But I'm sitting here, I guess, just kind of.
You're not ready.
The
show starts at 4 o'clock every day.
I'm clearly ready. I was
ready,
sitting
but
here
you're not ready.
To go.
Yeah.
But I heard the music, and I'm like, oh, damn.
It's time.
It's 4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock.
It's Friday, too, and I'm happy about it. Maybe that's why I'm daydreaming, because this is the first Friday night that I will have off in some time.
Except when you're using a vacation day, but that's
right.
It. 7 o'clock, we're out of here, and, dinner plans, go out drinking, go out, find something that you'll be able to go do.
Exactly right, and I can't wait. And, it's going to be nice. Went back to the station today because I neglected to clean out my desk.
Of course you did.
So I had to call the news director, Jack Acosta, who's a great guy. And I said, hey, Jack, I really kind of neglected to do that. And he said, well, come on by. But what was the weirdest thing about it is that when I got there, I had to text Jack, I'm here. And then you're like a visitor going through a place that I called home for 25 years.
They already turned off your key card?
Key card's gone, email's gone, everything's out. So, and that's cool. I mean,
did you go to the back parking lot?
I didn't. I couldn't get back there.
I was going to say, it's funny because like when we go over there, like I worked at Ken's many, many moons ago.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where, like, if we're doing our fantasy football draft, which we did a number of years up on the second floor conference room, or
we weren't supposed to do that, but we did.
Going to they don't allow beer up there. Going to the Great Day SA. Doing an appearance there. I know my way around the building, but the security won't let you through. Like, I know where I'm going. I got to wait for somebody to escort you through the building.
Now, I was fortunate, though.
You still know people?
I still know people, and look, Jack is cool. He really is.
Is your picture still on the wall?
The picture's still on the wall.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. Somebody said they're going to leave it there. I don't know. I don't know.
Until they hire your replacement.
Maybe so. And then they got to make room. But there's a special case, that it probably will go in the front lobby and just with a light on it. And
you're not Dan Cook.
Well, no, I'm not Dan Cook. But
does he have a photo in the lobby with the light on it?
He does not.
Then you don't get one either.
I might get one.
You're not going to get one.
You never know. I might.
Maybe above the urinal with a light to help aim.
I think
that's about it.
I think above the urinal, I'm already there somewhere, or in the urinal. Maybe that's where my picture is.
One of those urinal cakes.
Right. It's got Joe's face on it right there.
See if you can mess up Joe's hair.
Hit him right in the nose. But it was cool going back there, and but just kind of weird, I will admit. And I gave Bill Taylor a gift because I had to pick up my makeup bag that had my makeup that I won't use anymore.
Uh-huh.
And in there
you should.
Are makeup remover packets that I used to buy. And they're little packets, and you tear them, and they're just one.
Yeah.
Well, I had like 10 of those left. So I gave them to Bill Taylor because he can still use them.
So you have a wife.
I do.
You have 5 daughters.
I do.
And Bill Taylor got your makeup remover?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm thinking of, I don't know, a Sharon Coe. Trying to think of people I still know over there at Channel 5 that could have benefited more than Bill Taylor from makeup remover.
I don't know, because that was kind of a routine. After the show, we'd go in there and you'd wash your face and brush your hair so the hairspray was out of it.
So you and Billy T after the show would go into the men's room and remove makeup together?
It wasn't actually a men's room. It's a men's dressing room.
Which is a men's room. It's a men's room with a counter with mirrors.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a door that separates the makeup room from the bathroom.
Yes.
So
it's still a men's room.
You're not in there with the urinals in the toilet. So it's not. It's a dressing room.
Sure.
For goodness sake. Yeah, we would. And you go and you take off, your tie and all that stuff and leave. That was the routine.
Do that at home?
No, why? Who wants that? I don't want to drive home with all that on.
All right.
No. So it's just more comfortable. The face is already washed, and I can get home and I don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
I can grab a drink or go to bed or whatever I'm doing.
Don't wake up with makeup on your pillow that's yours.
It's not good for your face.
Oh, it's not?
No.
I have no idea.
Not good for your face. Well, in the future, if you ever decide to start wearing makeup, you'll know.
That probably isn't going to happen, but
you never know. But
my brain is full of useless knowledge that I'll never have to use.
So I hope Bill Taylor appreciates that, and we'll see. I texted him and told him, and I haven't gotten a return text.
So he doesn't know you gave those to him.
No, maybe he.
So somebody could have snagged those because they're just sitting there.
Maybe he's already lost my number. He's like, that guy's done.
Well, here's the little known fact about Joe Reinagle in his phone. He doesn't save a lot of numbers, so when somebody thinks they have his number, text him. He doesn't respond because he doesn't know who you are because your number's not saved.
Well, it's true. I mean, because I don't know about y'all, but I get a bunch of these spam, things where your auto warranty or whatever the hell it is. And so I just would prefer not to answer that. So if I just see the number and not your name, then it probably is going to go to voicemail.
It probably will.
So if you know me, and just leave a message, please, so I can get back to you.
Or when you send a text, sign your name at the end. Jason or whatever.
And that would be good.
Because Joe has gotten a ton of phone calls and text messages since the announcement of his retirement. And just, was it yesterday you get a call from RC and you decline the call because it's from an unknown number? And dude, RC is calling you.
I know it. Yeah. I know it. But not anymore. I've got the number and it's saved. So it's good. Bill Taylor responded. I think I could say this. He says, ha ha. He says, what will you use when you do drag brunch?
Well, I think he has a legitimate question there.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You'll borrow one from Bill.
I'll just have to borrow it from
because you'll be at that lunch together.
That's funny.
Bill Taylor's probably going to MC that event.
Bill Taylor and I we started the station at the same time. So we kind of have grown up together in the TV world. And so we have a weird sense of humor.
Yes, you do.
Yes, we do.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not
Speaking of weird senses of humor, our big boss has a weird sense of humor.
Extremely. I'm finding that out.
Our company CEO sent an email, company-wide email today. Very weird. We'll explain coming up at 4:45. And one of the ladies that works here, Jasmine.
Are you going to call her out by name?
Jasmine.
Okay.
I won't say any names. Jasmine. Armstrong actually replied to the email, sucking up like you've never heard sucking up before.
I had no idea, man.
Big time.
This is like, and I thought I was good at it. She's sucking really good at it.
She's not as good as she thinks, because I had to explain to her that really didn't come from our CEO's email account. That's like the assistant. Yeah. She was like, no, it's not. I was like, look at the actual email is basically, it says HR on it. It's not going to him. He's never going to see the amount of sucking up she tried to do. But when you hear what he wants us to do, and we'll talk about it coming up at 4:45, I appreciate the sentiment, but come on. I've heard of dumb things. There's bad ideas in this world.
Well, somebody sat around in a meeting and said, hey, this is a great idea. We should do this.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it, I don't know how you can do it.
Well, there's very did you open the attachment?
I didn't know there was an attachment.
There's very detailed instructions on how you do this.
Okay.
But when you first read it, you go, what the hell is this? And this is coming from our CEO. So, I mean, you get an email from the big boss, you read it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're reading it going, is this a joke? Seriously?
He should send an email out to everybody. Say, oh, by the way, this morning I got hacked.
No. I mean, there's graphics, there's detailed instruction, it's like, who in the hell is going to do this?
Well, I mean, some people will.
Maybe in Portland. I mean, this
Jasmine.
Jasmine isn't going to do this.
She's going to do it because after that email she wrote that the assistant is reading right now, I guarantee they've circled her name.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you better be on that Zoom call.
She's on the suck up list.
And you better be on the Zoom call time if you're going to do that.
And that's, we'll get into it at 4:45. And if you happen to be a boss, CEO, GM, you own the company, and you want to do something nice for your employees, we'll explain why this isn't the answer. I mean, I appreciate the sentiment.
Sentiment is great.
The sentiment is great. And our company is great. And our company does a lot for their employees. And I hope after the 4:45 segment, I'm still an employee. But this is too good not to make fun of.
No, this is great. And then the conversation afterward with Jasmine was really entertaining. I mean, I don't know how else to put it because
I think we stopped there.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
I think when she realized what she had done, I think at that point it's there. But just so you know, today, according to our boss, I didn't know, is National Employee Appreciation Day.
Well, that's nice.
So I hope wherever you work, your boss has shown you the appreciation you deserve. And a lot of times on an Employee Appreciation Day, maybe they bring in lunch, do donuts, something. But when you hear what our boss is doing for us, again, did you read the email, Edwin? Edwin's looking at me like,
I saw it, but I didn't read it.
Dude,
it was too long.
Well, you have Jasmine here and Edwin here on the.
So you get an email from the CEO of a company. Regardless of the length of the email, you don't read it?
I'll read it later.
I mean, you're responding, Edwin, like it's the email that you might get from the spam where you find out you have an uncle who's a prince in some foreign country and he needs money, right?
I thought it was just a standard email that goes out to every Alpha Media employee, but I guess it's more important than I thought.
Oh, it's very important.
I like the way Edwin thinks.
He doesn't give a damn.
I like that.
Edwin's
it's
like,
a great attitude.
CEO doesn't really care about me. Is that what you're thinking? I'm going to blow this email off. It's from the CEO.
I'm relatively new here, so I guess.
Which should say, I need to read this entire thing. There might be something important in this.
Well, I didn't read the entire thing because I'm fairly new here and I didn't read the entire thing. So Edwin and I are on the same page. I certainly didn't see the attachment.
Here's the thing about our CEO, who is a wonderful guy.
Okay.
And if you get a chance to have beers with him, it's even better.
Can't wait.
Right. But his emails tend to be long-winded.
Okay.
Extremely long-winded.
But
he's a radio guy. He's a storyteller. But generally speaking, the golden nugget is at the end of the email because that long story has a point. And so to figure out what the point is, you got to read through the whole thing.
But
this time,
after our conversation with Jasmine, I'm not sure it was him who wrote it.
Well, he probably wrote it.
That wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah.
I promise you, he wrote it.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen enough emails from him. This is his writing, but he sends it to the assistant to send it out to the masses because he doesn't want his personal email account bombarded with all these suck-up responses like those from Jasmine Armstrong.
Okay, I get it now. I understand. I'm learning this whole corporate world thing.
Yes. So, I mean, even you got to did you get to the second paragraph, either of you guys?
Yes.
First sentence.
First sentence.
Yeah.
All right. Because if you get to the second paragraph, I don't know how you stop reading after that.
No, I do. And people will understand.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up at 4:45. Spurs lose last night. We'll talk about the Spurs and their bad loss last night. Speaking of sucking up, the Spurs did big last night. Coach K's got his final game there at Cameron Indoor coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that. John Machota will join us at 5:30. We'll get the latest on the Cowboys. And I tell you what, Joe Reinagle, a lot of news about the Dallas Cowboys on this Football Friday without football, but lots of football news. First, a headline that is being somewhat, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting to it, but one of the traditions that Jerry Jones has at the Combine is towards the end of the week, he brings all the beat writers on his bus.
Yep.
And it's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
It's story time with Uncle Jerry.
Yep.
Jerry has declined or canceled his media session today. The Cowboys said, the Cowboys PR guy, whoever that might be right now, whoever's with them in Indy, it's not Rich, said it was because of a medical issue, minor medical issue.
Yeah.
That's alarming when you've got an owner that's 80 years old.
Well, but it could mean anything.
Sure.
Right? A minor medical issue. It could be a number of different things. So hopefully Jerry is okay. But remember also, there's a big, is it an MMA match that's coming up at Jerry World here pretty soon that he was involved in the press conference on Wednesday. And then the story goes on to say that he's working with Roger Goodell on some other NFL projects.
Yeah, NFL business. Now, granted, Roger Goodell is trying to negotiate a new contract. So maybe Jerry's involved with that. I can't believe that he is sidestepping questions about the $2.4 million settlement. I can't believe he would be avoiding questions about the future of Amari Cooper, DeMarcus Lawrence, or any of that, because Jerry doesn't hide from that. Although he has spoken one time with one reporter in Dallas who caught him at an event, and he answered a question about the settlement involving Dalrymple and the cheerleaders and the whole voyeurism thing. But at some point, Jerry knows he's going to be in front of a microphone and get asked a bunch of questions about that.
Yep.
Jerry doesn't dodge questions.
No. But
he did take about a week to talk to the media, to do his radio appearance at the end of the season, because he was so livid, remember? And then for him to pass up this opportunity. And again, it's very unlike Jerry. And if they would have just said he canceled it because he's got business that he's doing with Roger Goodell, the fact that Indianapolis, the contract with the Combine expires at the end of this Combine, and there are 3 cities in the running to host it in the future, Indianapolis, Dallas, and LA. Is Jerry negotiating something there? I mean, there's a lot of things you could say that Jerry's skipping media, but when you say medical, that's alarming.
Yeah, for a 78-year-old guy, it is. I think he's 78,
78, 80, whatever,
he's
114.
Up there, yeah.
I mean, whatever the case is, he's an old man, and rarely does he miss media availability. And I hear medical. I think it might not be life or death, but give me more details than that. Has he got a cold? Did he get some bad shrimp over at St. Elmo's? COVID? I mean, what is it? It could be anything.
Well, that's just the thing. And when you look and you hear this story and you're looking for it, there's not a lot out there. I mean, there's really not a lot out there.
They didn't give him anything.
So
he's got a toothache?
Yeah,
all right, cool. I mean, it could be anything.
It could be.
But when you just say medical, anybody that age, you go, uh-oh.
I guess they figure they throw in the term minor or the word minor, and that's supposed to be okay with everybody. I think if it was more serious, they would, and things would be out there, or perhaps it is more serious, and that's why there's not things out there. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get some details as we go on, not only today, but over the weekend.
Yeah, and John Machota, again, will join us at 5:30.
Maybe John knows.
He is in Indianapolis. We'll get some insight. Of course, one of the other big stories, or the big story today involving the Dallas Cowboys, is it certainly feels like the Cowboys have decided on Amari Cooper's future, and it's not with the Dallas Cowboys. Adam Schefter and a variety of reporters are out there with their scenarios. This is what Adam Schefter said on NFL Live.
This is a situation where every team's got to make big decisions, Matt, right? And the Dallas Cowboys are in a situation where they are scheduled to be over the cap for the coming season. They are more than $21 million over the cap. Cutting Cooper would count $6 million against the cap, not $22 million like he's currently scheduled to be charged for right now. He's due $20 million in fully guaranteed money on the 5th day of the league year, March 20th. Dallas does not intend to pay him that money. So the question is, what do they do with him? Well, the chances are they wind up releasing him. People have suggested he could be traded. Who's going to trade for that contract right now? Unlikely, and as I've been told. And so the chances are Dallas will move on from Amari Cooper while wanting to retain players like Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz.
And the thing about it is, Jason, is that there are reports right after that say the Cowboys are nearing a long-term deal with Michael Gallup. So all of that has to be true, that Amari Cooper is all but gone.
Well, you look at Amari Cooper and he's $20 million. It's all guaranteed money.
Right.
Now, I look at some of the fan outcry, and I'm trying to figure it out. They traded away their first-round pick for Amari Cooper a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So by getting rid of him at this point, that would be like getting rid of your first-round pick after 3 years.
Okay.
Oh, it's been done before.
Sure.
Taco Charlton. Other teams have moved on from a first-round pick. But it's the guaranteed money that's there and the production. Michael Gallup, injury-plagued year this year, only 9 games in. I mean, he only got in 9 games because of injuries.
Right.
Outside of that, he's been pretty durable. He's played 16, 14, and 16 in his other 3 years. And he is a legit star wide receiver that's probably going to get a deal somewhere between $10 and $12 million. That's half of what Cooper's getting. You still have CeeDee Lamb on a rookie deal. You've got Cedric Wilson, young receiver, won't cost you much. It's going to be a free agent. Noah Brown, Malik Turner, all those guys.
Wow, that strikes fear in the hearts of every defensive back in the league.
Well, and again, I mean, but if you've got a Gallup and you've got a CeeDee Lamb, I'm good.
I'm worried about Gallup, though. I mean, ACL, you just don't know what kind of recovery. Now, obviously, the Cowboys feel pretty confident if they're negotiating a long-term deal with this guy, but he's not due back, I don't think, until sometime
August?
Late summer.
Yeah, late summer, maybe a little bit of training camp, maybe I don't know. But it's not like he's a guy that has missed a gazillion games over his career because of injuries. Last year, had the calf injury in the opener against Tampa Bay, finally comes back, plays well, and then blows out his knee late, right? And maybe that ends up saving the Cowboys a couple dollars because he's on the open market. The way ACLs are now, though, most guys recover just fine. And he's not the speed guy in the group. He can be, and he was the deep threat when there was the 3 of them, but CeeDee Lamb is the speed guy. Supposedly. So even if Gallup loses a little bit of a step, quarter of a step, he's the possession receiver guy. And that's what he's been good at. Big body in the end zone, go get it. So I look at the production of Amari Cooper and go, okay, for the money that you're paying him, is he worth that kind of money? Is he a true number one? Absolutely. Is he one of the best route runners in the league? Absolutely. I am an Amari Cooper fan, but when Dalton Schultz and your tight end group are getting the targets, when you look at the receivers that they had and what they were able to do, is he worth that money or do you let him go? And quite frankly, with the salary cap, unless he's willing to take less, you got to go. And that's where I laugh at some of the reports that say, unless they could trade for him, well, who the hell is going to take on his contract?
Well, nobody's going to take on his contract, but I guarantee you, if the Cowboys release Amari Cooper, somebody's going to pick him up and will pay him good money to be a wide receiver for them. So it's to the point where, yes, no teams are going to want to trade for him because of that particular amount of money, but they obviously want to work out their own deal. But Amari Cooper is going to be playing somewhere in the NFL this fall. It obviously is not going to be for the Dallas Cowboys, but it's going to be for somebody, that's for sure.
On our Facebook Live feed, and if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to tune in, watch there, and comment, if you will.
Yeah.
In fact, at the YouTube page, go there, comment,
Absolutely.
subscribe.
Yes.
Joe Medellin, not happy with this. Oh, if they get rid of Amari, I'm done. Stop. You're not. Quit overreacting. They don't throw him the ball, though.
They don't.
Well, and again, is that on Kellen? Is that on Dak? A combination of both. He is the receiver that's getting taken away because he's the best receiver there. Defenses are going to take him away.
I think it and everybody wants to look at the little shiny toys out there and say, this is what we need. Sign him. We need a wide receiver. Do this, do that. I'm telling you, Dak didn't have time for Amari Cooper to get open deep.
Sure.
He didn't have time. And until you do something about that offensive line, you can bring Jerry Rice in his prime, okay? Or Michael Irvin back in his prime, and you're not going to be successful. You can't blame everything on Amari Cooper. And why the Cowboys would want to take a chance, unless it's just to save money, and obviously that's what a lot of this is all about, why you would want to get rid of Amari Cooper. Why not sit him down and say, look, we want to sign you to another long-term deal. Let's work this thing out and get it done. He is still a quality wide receiver. He's better than Michael Gallup.
Yep.
And he's better than anybody else you're going to get out there. So why not work out a deal with Amari Cooper to get rid of this $20 million, get a new contract done, and move on?
If you're Amari Cooper, would you take less? I mean, part of the problem that the Cowboys have, and as I say this, think about it. I know it sounds dumb. They've got so many weapons and one football. And Amari Cooper at the end of the year was bitching about targets. Why was he bitching about targets? Because he's not dumb. In the football business world, was his production worthy of $20 million? And the answer is no. Now, also keep in mind, Jerry Jones has been very adamant about his players being vaccinated. Amari Cooper is not. Amari Cooper missed 2 games because he caught COVID and was unvaccinated. And quite frankly, down the stretch run of the season, he wasn't the same player. Now, was that COVID-related side effects of COVID and conditioning, or lack of targets? Because the whole offense kind of fell apart too. So who knows? But I do know that Jerry wants all his players vaccinated, was pretty adamant that he wants all his players vaccinated, and Cooper isn't, and he missed 2 games because of it. Well, I don't know how much that factors in, but when you look moving forward, I'm giving you $20 million, and you exposed yourself to missing games because you didn't get a vaccine.
Maybe that's it. And so you're basically saying Jerry Jones is pissed off because he missed 2 games last season, and he's going to let that affect his decisions moving forward. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case.
I mean, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but when you're factoring in a guy, and here's a guy who, and by all accounts, unvaccinated, knows the risk and the timeline. You catch it, you test positive, you're going to miss 2 games. Now, with the new protocols, maybe not, but I think that factors in. It's real. I mean, who knows? But at the same time, $20 million for the production you're getting. Let's go back to the Spurs deal. Remember Richard Jefferson?
Yes.
Everybody hates Richard Jefferson around here, right? He was a good player, just not for the money he was making.
He was not a good player.
He was not a good player for what the Spurs, for what we all figured, what we all deemed his value. His production did not match the paycheck, and that's why the highest paid players get all the criticism when they start to drop off.
They do. There's a difference, though, in Richard Jefferson and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper can't throw the football to himself. He can't do it. So he's got to rely on Dak Prescott to do that.
Yep.
And Dak Prescott didn't have any time to throw the football to Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb or anybody other than Cedric Wilson and Dalton Schultz. They were the only ones. Until you do something about that offensive line, again, doesn't matter who you bring in there to be a wide receiver, you ain't going to get them the football. So Michael Gallup's going to be in the same boat this year, as is CeeDee Lamb once again. So what are you going to do with CeeDee Lamb? He was Jerry's, toy.
Absolutely.
Right? So if what happens if he falters again? You're going to say goodbye to him too? I mean, it comes to a point where you want the best players. We talked about the draft, drafting the best player that's available.
Yep.
Okay. If Amari Cooper was on the board, would you draft him?
If you drafted Amari Cooper right now and you're the Dallas Cowboys, fans would go nuts. We don't need another wide receiver. We need offensive linemen. But he was essentially our first-round pick a couple of years ago because we traded that away. I want Amari Cooper to stay with this team. I'm an Amari Cooper fan. The business side of football, I understand what the Cowboys are trying to do here because you're trying to figure out how much production are we really losing by letting Amari walk in $20 million. Is if we've got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson, or maybe they're able to get up somebody in free agency or somebody else out there that can come in. But how much production, overall total receiving yards and catches, are you really losing for half the money?
Well, if you've got the offensive line that Dak's throwing behind, you're not losing anything. So you probably go out and get a couple of these guys from the USFL and throw them in there, and they'd be great. And you pay them, a ham sandwich and some fries, and you'd be okay.
You got fries too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's
what I hear, Jason. What's the sound of a window? Closing on the Dallas Cowboys. Their chance was this past season, and that window's closing big time. That team's got so many free agents to deal with. Washington, the Giants, and Philadelphia, let's just suffice it to say they won't go through the NFC East undefeated this year.
We'll see what those other teams end up doing with their quarterback for sure. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. I was walking by the window coming to the studio just before 4 o'clock. I saw the sun was peeking out. And I know that the weather's supposed to be nice this weekend, which means you're going to fire up that grill and barbecue. But before you do, get into Tri-County Meat Market. Their 2 locations are perfect for you because that great meal starts with great meat. Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned and full service, carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice. They've got your beef, your chicken, your pork. Their seasoned fajitas are fantastic. I can't do better than their seasoned fajitas, but if you want unseasoned fajita meat to try your own, you could do that as well. Their poppers are incredible. They've got everything you need to up that grilling game and take advantage of that Pick 5 for $25 that's always available to you. Tri-County Meat Market offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, online at tricountymeat.com.
Spurs lose last night, and Greg Popovich not happy about it. We'll talk about that after the Sports Center update. Speaking of the Spurs, they dropped their 3rd straight last night. They lose to the Kings 115-112. Lonnie Walker had a great game offensively, 30 points. DeJounte Murray, 29 in the loss. Spurs return to action tomorrow night against the Hornets. And in the NFL, a lot of news coming out of the Dallas Cowboys. One, owner Jerry Jones not speaking with the media in Indianapolis this week due to what they are calling a minor medical issue. He's also dealing with Roger Goodell on some NFL business. Cowboys, according to Adam Schefter, are expected to release wide receiver Amari Cooper. If they can't find a deal, they're going to prioritize Michael Gallup, who is a free agent. We're told that could save him about $16 million on the salary cap. I'm Joe Reinagle for San Antonio Sports Star.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you have taxiety, that uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your refund faster with direct deposit to a Deep Blue debit account.
Deep Blue.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment, and let's end taxiety. Liberty Tax. Faster access to funds based on comparing refunds via direct deposit versus a mailed paper check. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Jim! Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
We're growing fast, and I stopped working weekends thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there.
Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/radar. Head to netsuite.com/radar for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
At Diamonds Direct, we tell you all the time all the great reasons to come see us. But the truth is, there are some reasons why you should not go to Diamonds Direct. Like if you want to pawn your old gold, we can't help you. If you want silverware, crystal, porcelain, or china, you won't find it at Diamonds Direct. See, at Diamonds Direct, we don't believe you can be all things to all people. If you try to be, you probably end up just being average with most of them. At Diamonds Direct, our focus is diamonds. Our DNA is diamonds and bridal jewelry, period. That's why we have up to 20 times the selection of diamonds you find at those other stores. It's why every major bridal designer in the world is found in our showcases. And it's why we can find the perfect diamond ring for you, whether your budget is $2,000 or $200,000. Diamonds are our passion. It's what we do. It's all we do. So, just letting you know, it's a big mistake if you come see us looking for a silver cake cutter. But the biggest mistake of all is not coming to us for a diamond or engagement ring. Diamonds Direct, San Antonio's direct diamond importer at the shops at La Cantera. DiamondsDirect.com.
This is The Blitz with Joe Reinagel and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It's The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel on Twitter at Joe Reinagel210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. Yesterday on the show, Joe Reinagel said, guarantee it, Spurs are going to win by 6.5. Easy money in the bank.
Wow.
Good Lord. What the hell happened?
Why I don't gamble anymore.
Except for when you do.
Except for when I do and I lose, and I remember why I don't gamble anymore.
Dude, it's part of it, but that's why I don't bet on the Spurs. I don't trust this basketball team.
Right.
I never know what to expect. It could be a cupcake, a very winnable game, although very unscientific study. See, the Sacramento Kings lost the night before that.
Yeah.
In New Orleans. And typically speaking, you finish up a game, 11 o'clock, whatever, you go to the airport and you fly in the middle of the night, check into your hotel room 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And it just messes with you. That's why, a team that played the night before and had to travel, they always seem a little sluggish, right?
Yeah.
Well, their team plane was broke in New Orleans. So they had to spend a night in New Orleans. Then they got up and flew day of game, which they typically don't like to do.
Right.
Sacramento looked like the fresher team. Why? Because they had a good night's sleep.
They did. And what is that? An hour and a half flight? It's not like it's a long flight, but that's the issue. And that should be a concern for every Spurs fan. Why in the world would Sacramento look like the fresher team? Spurs had 2 days off.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home. Shouldn't they be supercharged, ready to play, fired up? To play in front of the home folks you haven't seen since the beginning of February.
Well, did you watch the game? Ain't nobody there.
Well, that's true too.
I mean,
but and not only that, it was Military Appreciation Night. They had a big deal for Ukraine before the tip-off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many things that could have gotten this team fired up, and they come out like they're just going through the motions.
The announced attendance was 13,049 people.
Wow.
And I don't even know if it was that many. It did not look good. And then you had Bill and Sean talking about the first game back after a long road trip is like the extension of the road trip. And I don't know if I buy that. The Spurs, they gave up 30 in the first quarter. They gave up 34 in the second. I mean, they were getting their ass kicked. To their credit, at one point, they got the game tied up. but they spent so much energy tying the game up. They really didn't have anything left to close the thing out. And then some dumb mistakes after. And I tell you, after, Pop, not happy. This was the entirety of Greg Popovich's post-game press conference.
Best thing about this team is that they don't give in. They were down at half and got down even more at the beginning, the first 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever it was of the third quarter. They didn't give in. They got back in it. That's the good side. But the bad side is you can't win an NBA game playing 22 minutes physically and hard and fundamentally, and we didn't do that. We played about a quarter and a half tonight, and that's disappointing. So, we have to take responsibility for that and be more mentally ready to go. And we can't play soft for half the game. That's the bottom line. There's really nothing else to say.
And he walks out.
Well, Pop does that quite often.
Yep.
I mean, he does it when he's not happy with his team. And why would you be happy with him? And I've heard a lot of people trying to blame this on Pop, that he didn't have the team ready. And again, I'm going to go back to my stock answer. Are these guys getting a check?
Yeah.
They're getting paid. They're getting paid very well, I believe. It's not a high school football team or basketball team that you have to fire up in the locker room. These guys should come ready to play each and every night because they've got a big bank account. If nothing else, they need to become ready to play. It's not Greg Popovich's responsibility to fire these guys up.
I look at last night, and DeJounte down the end trying to split the entire defense, loses the ball and really all hopes. He played all right last night. Lonnie Walker was sensational last night.
Offensively.
Keldon Johnson, dude, he sucked, and Pop only let him play 15 minutes because he sucked.
He's a kid, Jason.
Keldon is not a kid.
He's a kid.
Devin Vassell's a kid.
He's a baby.
Joshua Primo is a kid.
Devin Vassell is as old as Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, but Keldon, he's got a gold medal and everything. I mean, I just expect so much from Keldon Johnson, and last night he was awful.
Devin Vassell wasn't bad last night.
No, and again, though, you look at a Sacramento team that comes in and shoots 46% from the field, 31% from three. I mean, the Spurs are actually better from three-point range, but I look at DeJounte Murray, 12 of 22, finishes with 29 points, but 5 turnovers. And again, you look at all of a sudden, the Aaron Fox comes in and says, all right, man, I'm going against an all-star. I'm bringing it. And these young point guard battles are fun to watch, but DeJounte's got to step up his game when he knows those targets are coming. I mean, De'Aaron Fox was incredible last night, finishing with 26 points. You look, James Rippey on our YouTube channel says, problem with the Spurs, they're not talented enough. And that's part of it. I mean, they're growing, they're learning. It's one of those weird scenarios where, I want them to win. They should have beaten Sacramento. There's very few teams that they're ahead of in the standings.
Right.
So you got to get those wins.
You have to win that one.
They didn't get that win, and they looked ugly doing it. Although, do you celebrate the fact that this team was able to make some runs and tie the game up?
No. You don't celebrate that. There's no moral victories, especially this time of year.
I'm not talking about a moral victory. I'm talking about silver and black linings. Look for the good because they're not a good basketball team.
No, you don't celebrate that. It's great that they came back. That's fine, but they shouldn't have been down by 19 points to begin with.
But they were, and they battled back.
The problem with this team, as I see it, and we talked about this yesterday, they don't play defense. They can't stop anybody. And I don't care how good, and everybody's crowning Lonnie Walker as the next coming of George Gervin.
Wait a minute.
Everybody. I hear it now.
Everybody is not Michael Jimenez. Michael Jimenez does not represent everybody.
Lonnie Walker, he's going to get a huge deal. He's made so much money. If he keeps playing this way, he's going to make so much more money in the offseason.
Yeah.
I just look, Lonnie Walker, we've talked about this too. He's talented.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all the tools. But Lonnie Walker, in between the ears sometimes, worries me. So that's a concern. So, it's going to be interesting to see. And everybody thinks Derek White was the guy holding this team back. Boy, if Derek White, if he hadn't been here all year, the Spurs would be NBA champs right now. Spurs Twitter and Spurs fans sometimes drive me insane.
Uh-huh.
They really do. This is a talented club.
They get you every time.
They're a talented club.
Get
They're
off my
young.
lawn.
They're young. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be patient with this team. Some days they're going to look fantastic. Other days they're going to look terrible. That's just the way it is. You've got to let the process play out and go from there. I still believe this team has the potential to get in that play-in game, although last night certainly didn't do them any favors. But let the process play out and don't crown people as the next coming of so-and-so when they have 6 good ball games.
It's the microwave society. It's what are we seeing now? And when you're negotiating his contract, they'll look at the totality. Is he making money? Sure. Will it be here? We'll see.
We'll see.
That's the bottom line. The good news with a loss, lottery. Bad news with the loss, no play-in. It's a win-win. Just enjoy
perhaps.
the ride.
Sure.
I'm not cheering for losses, but I was angry for a little bit last night, just the way I couldn't believe they lost that game. I was pissed. But you get over it pretty quick because, again, what does it really hurt?
I'm okay with them losing the game.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not okay with is the way they start the game.
Yeah.
And play the way they do. So that baffles me.
A young team that's inconsistent.
Baffles me. Come ready to play or give your check back.
You're not going to give the check back, but they're young and they're inconsistent. That's what they are. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. Our CEO sent us all a company-wide email today as a part of Employee Appreciation Day, because apparently today is National Employee Appreciation Day. If your boss did something good for you, let us know what your boss did for you on this National Employee Appreciation Day. Tweet us at Joe Reinagel 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix, because you can't wait to hear what our boss is doing for us on National Appreciation Day, Employee Appreciation Day.
It's pretty incredible. Well, I'm going to tell you about Customer Appreciation Day.
All right.
It's every day when you're talking about Stevens Roofing. Every single day. They are incredible. In fact, they take a lot of pride in what they do, and they love serving the great people of South Texas. This is a family-owned company. They're a local company. They're here to stay. They've been here for a long time, and they're not going anywhere. They're certainly not a fly-by-night company that, you see sometimes that come in after a big hailstorm or whatever the case may be, and they just want to make some money and then skip town. That's not Stevens Roofing. They're here to stay. In fact, they're licensed by the city of San Antonio. And this company can do it all, whether it's commercial or residential, whether you need a metal roof or just composition roof. They're going to give you free estimates. They'll finance everything for you if you need to do that. And again, my favorite part of what Stevens Roofing does, they're going to work with your insurance company. If you've got an insurance claim, let Stevens Roofing deal with the insurance company. They'll take care of that. They're going to do the job. They're going to guarantee their work in writing, and they're going to stand behind their work. So here's what I want you to do. Get out your pen and write this number down, 210-785-0994, or you can see them at stevensroofing.net. And don't forget, Stevens Roofing is your local roofer.
Rob Thompson and Rudy J. Don't rush. It's R&R in the morning. Monday morning at 7. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply. and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
If I'm going to work from my home office, I need my home office to work for me.
It's possible at Staples.
To be most productive, my home office needs to have everything my office has.
Also possible because your local Staples store has the tools, tech, and furniture you need to get work done from home. And right now, you can save up to $100 on select chairs to put the finishing touch on your home office. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 3/5. In-store only while supplies last.
The Sunday Sports Grill. Sundays 11 till 1 with Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Your home for sports talk is right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Raise your hand if you knew today was National Employee Appreciation Day. Nobody?
I hope everybody feels appreciated.
We appreciate
today.
you.
I feel appreciated.
Our company's a great company.
It is.
And our company does a lot of great things. This one, though, I'm not so sure about. The idea is there.
Yeah.
And again, if your boss did something for you today, your company did something, tell us what they did because we're jealous. At Joe Reinagel 210 on Twitter, tweet at me at Jason Minix, or you could dial up the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines 210-656-ESPN. So early this morning, and our corporate headquarters are on the West Coast, Portland.
Yeah.
So when you get an email from the boss at 7:36 a.m., you're like, well, he's either up early or it was scheduled, right?
Right.
But also, I've worked here long enough that I know that when our CEO sends you an email, he's got two different ones that come in. And you could tell the ones that, like if he's emailing you directly, it's a different email than this one, which is kind of like
for everybody.
This is, because he doesn't want all the responses, all the people sucking up like our Jasmine Armstrong did. Yeah, Jasmine. She responded.
She did.
Oh, and she was telling us about it. Did not realize that she was like responding to the blind email box that nobody checks. But that's beside the point.
Not necessarily, but we'll get to that later.
Maybe. So in this email that talks about how great the company is doing and we're up in this area in revenue and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we're kicked ass. I mean, everything's good, right?
Right.
And things are good with our company. I mean, look at all the growth we've had here on our station, adding Reinagel, adding Rudy, adding Jimenez, going to the bigger stick on 103.3. All of that, is we're doing well.
Yeah.
Right? Pat ourselves on the back. We're kicking ass. So as a thank you, and as appreciation, because our bosses, our company does appreciate us, we have all been invited, as I read the email, to join as many as you can of 6-hour-long activities for your relaxation and enjoyment. They're going to hold yoga and meditation, massages, and fitness dance Zumba sessions.
Sounds good.
Virtually.
That doesn't.
Wait a minute. How in the hell are you going to get a massage virtually? Was my first thought. I was thinking maybe we were all getting a gift card to Massage Heights or something like that. Or they were going to bring in some of those chair massage type places. I don't know. Well, then they send instructions. Check your calendars. They're already populated on our company calendars, on our person, right? Virtual massage, led by Rachel Richards, massage therapist. The times are on there. Then it says, soothe your body and make your workspace safe. For best results, you'll be massaging your face and scalp. So no makeup or constricting hair accessories. Wear a t-shirt or something light that will allow easy access and mobility. Dim the lights because you're massaging yourself virtually with a lady telling you how to do it.
Now, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same appeal to massage myself, whether that's on the head or the face or anywhere else. I mean, that doesn't.
I mean, that's something you generally do in private. You don't do that virtually.
I don't actually massage my face and hair in private.
Well, exactly.
I mean, wash it. I guess that's a massage.
But imagine you're sitting at your desk right now. We have an office, but imagine the cubicle area.
Yeah,
people are out there massaging themselves, and this is all HR approved.
Wow.
Imagine a guy like grumpy ass Greg Shelton.
No, I don't want to imagine that. I really don't want to imagine that at all. And so they might be making noises too.
Well,
right? I mean, somebody, if they're enjoying it,
you're
might
relaxing.
Be, this feels so good.
Yoga and meditation. Again, we work at a radio station. Find a quiet space where you can relax and stretch without physical obstacles.
Unreal.
Really? And again, on Zoom. So bring your laptop.
Yeah, where are you going to do that?
Bring your iPad.
Huh.
Fitness, dance, and Zumba. I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin.
Not sure.
And my guess is the company is paying these people to lead these classes. And I can only imagine our local market manager participating in these.
Well, he needs to lead the way.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Could you imagine our local market manager leading the way for massaging yourself in the workplace? I would love to have been in the meeting or seen his reaction when in the manager's meeting they said, you know what we're going to do for our people? Virtual massage.
That just doesn't have a good ring to it.
It really doesn't.
Maybe the other stuff you can get away with. I get this.
I can't imagine meditation,
but the massage,
or, quite frankly, Zumba. All of it virtually.
Yeah. I don't know, Jason. You didn't tell me about this when I came to work here.
I told you, man, our company does a lot of great things for us. This isn't one of them. Who in their right mind? Now, again, they're based in Portland. Things are weird in Portland.
Yeah.
Maybe this goes over well in Peoria. I'm trying to think what other cities we have. Saginaw, Michigan, Detroit. I'm trying to figure out where some market is going, all right, virtual massage.
Can't wait.
Let's go.
Let's go. Huh.
All I know is if you sign up for one of these, just let me know. I'll leave the office. I'll give you your privacy.
Well, I think I might. I don't know if there's enough room in that office.
You know what? Greg Shelton has a big office.
Well,
you and Greg Shelton can go do this
I just
together.
figure I can just get right here in the hallway. There's plenty of room to stretch out right here.
It says quiet place.
Well, that's quiet.
It's a noisy hallway.
Not that day.
And it's on Zoom, so you're on video.
Everybody will be doing it with me. Everybody's doing it.
How does that get by HR?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
But it did. Well, when it comes from the boss,
I feel appreciated.
I guess they're okay.
And then Jasmine Armstrong in our office.
Oh my gosh.
Sends an email talking about what a great idea this is.
She was very excited about
sir.
it. Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. And she's in our office bitching. There ain't no way in hell I'm doing that. What were they thinking? But Mr. Boss Man, I love you. Thank you. This is so good. Please. And I was like, you realize he doesn't get those emails. What?
You broke her heart. I want you to know that.
It was pathetic.
You broke her heart.
It was pathetic.
It was, but you still broke her heart.
Hard to embarrass Jasmine, but I think she was embarrassed.
I think
today.
so too.
If you know Jasmine and you see her, congratulate her.
Yeah.
On trying to win
Winning
Employee
the
of the
suck
Month.
up of the award of the month.
Absolutely.
And the month just started and she's already won.
That's it. So many jokes. So many jokes. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. Coming up, Coach K will coach his last game at Cameron Indoor. We'll get into that. John Machota from The Athletic will join us at 5:30 to talk about the latest on the Dallas Cowboys. If you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house. They most recently put up a big spotlight in my backyard over one of my grills so I could do some night grilling, some motion lights, so it's fantastic. They've added extra outlets in the garage because there's never enough when you move into a new house for outlets in the garage. Some dimmers for the living room lights. They're fantastic. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. They have the right service at the right price, never a service charge, and always free estimates. So if you need to add some additional outlets or USB ports, you got a fuse that always blows, a flickering light, call Hill Electric. They will get you taken care of. If you have an office and you want to rework that office to show appreciation to your employees, let Hill Electric design your socially distant space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
Didn't catch R&R in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Hank the Tank is a black bear that lives in the Lake Tahoe region on the California side. Is responsible for 29 confirmed break-ins around this community.
Texas, it would have been like, dude would have been on the front page with his arm around the bear.
Got him from 150 yards.
And you know what we'd be saying, Texas? Hey, man, he broke in his house. He got what he deserved.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Guys, did you know that starting around age 30, men's testosterone levels can decline naturally? As a result, you may experience low energy, lack of focus, problems in the bedroom, or even depression. If that's you, then it's time to rethink your health. The solution? Testosterone replacement therapy with Synergenics. It's easy. Just take the test at one of our clinics in the San Antonio area. For more info and to schedule an appointment, head over to 800lowt.com today and get your life back.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? We could romance the legal copy. It never gets the attention it deserves. And some lawyer worked real hard on it. So take it away, lawyer.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Now that was some beautiful legal. Well done, lawyer. Well done.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. on this National Employee Appreciation Day.
I feel appreciated.
Sorta. I mean, I always do at work. We work for a great company. What they're doing for us is a little odd. I got a text from a friend of mine that runs basically, forget what his official title is, transportation department over with one of the school districts. I don't know if I'm allowed to say NEISD, but
you just did.
You got that, did you?
Yeah.
Bill Harrison's a great dude, been a great friend for a long time. He said, happy to feed 380 hardworking employees today. Breakfast tacos this morning, pizza at lunch, ice cream this afternoon. It's all about the appreciation. So, man, that is awesome. So no virtual massages? Said, no, that's against school district policy, which is true. And by the way, if you're looking for a job, they need school bus drivers at any ISD and seemingly every school district in the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're looking for something to extra money, need a job, go drive a school bus. They need you. The students need you. They need you, and they appreciate you.
I just wonder, I've always wondered about that. I mean, you got to be a patient person to drive a school bus.
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, typically speaking, I think with school bus drivers, a lot of them are retired.
Sure.
So they've had a career, they're patient, they can work the split shifts in there. Although, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there. I always thought it'd be a nice job when it's all said and done, because it pays well.
Does it really?
Yeah. And they train you. We were supposed to do a deal, but COVID canceled it. I was really looking forward to it, but we were going to do a deal where they were doing, drive and apply campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And you get to go out there and drive the school buses. I want to go do that one time.
I'd like to do that.
Just to be able to go drive school buses.
I'd like to do that. I mean, you never know.
This
radio thing doesn't work out. I can be a bus driver.
Absolutely.
I mean, that would be better, I think, than being a greeter at Walmart.
True.
I mean, I don't know, but it sounds like it would be.
You talk about patience.
You know what I want to be when I grow up? Is one of those golf marshals that are all retired and they ride around the little golf cart and say, okay, you're next.
They don't really ride around. They just sit a whole one.
Well, they do, but they're sitting in a golf cart. But you'll see them riding around after everybody's teed off.
But they're not drinking beer.
Well, how do you know? They might be drinking something else.
Well, it's true, but I know you.
Yeah, I would have to have something.
You would.
A little flask.
Absolutely. No, unless you're driving school buses.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I
wouldn't do that.
Yeah. In all seriousness. And I see James Pledger is still here.
Yeah.
I have no idea why James Pledger is still in the building at 5:07. But he celebrated Employee Appreciation Day in a very horrific way. See, we woke up with a bad idea from the boss with these virtual massages.
Right.
Where you have to massage yourself on Zoom. Again, I don't know that they thought this one through. Well, James Pledger had a great idea today that he didn't quite think through. And I don't know if this had to have been James Pledger's idea.
I'm sure it was.
Michael Jimenez, Edwin Hafner, as they were getting ready for halftime, talking about hand sizes. So it started with they were measuring each other's hands.
Wow.
Not sure why.
Is that okay with HR?
Probably not, but Jimenez's wife is out of town for the weekend and Pledge is single, so whatever, right? So then they decide, because the combine is going on, Joe, what do you think? So they're measuring hand size for whatever reason.
Okay. Well, that's a big thing at the combine these days.
But it's not really at a radio station.
No, it's not. Doesn't matter what size your hands are at a radio station.
Then they decided they wanted to go run 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So literally with the tape measure, they figured out how many parking spaces it would take for a legit 40-yard dash. By the way, the answer is 16.
Oh, wow.
At least here in the Alpha Media parking lot. Whoever striped our parking lot did a very precise job in measuring out so they counted it off. They got it all set. Jimenez is in jeans, but James Pledger is dressed like he's about to, participate in a Olivia Newton-John Let's Get Physical video shoot.
Is that what that is?
He's got his gym shorts on with tights and a hoodie. He is ready to go, trying to look like Mr. Athlete. He is dressed like he's at the combine. So he's ready to go, James Pledger. Michael Jimenez runs his 40. I forget what his time was, but, a couple minutes, he got it done. Edwin ran his 40, smoked him, right? They're both in James.
Yeah.
So here comes James Pledger, and he's getting up to the starting line, this fake starting line, and gets down like he's in the blocks, and he takes off, and he's running. He's coming down, and, it's total Forrest Gump, right? And he finally gets to the end. Then you realize to put on social media, the video length has to be relatively short. So he needed a second take. So Jimenez, who ran like 8 minutes prior, is trying to
He had about an 8-minute 40, I think.
Jimenez is trying to do the play-by-play, and he's still out of breath. Edwin is videoing. And here's Pledger. I want take 2 because I can do a better time. Damn it, I don't like my time. He's, So Pledge gets down, starting, go. And he's running as fast as he can. And then he just eats it in the parking lot.
Trips himself.
And it's not like he was running so fast he outran himself. He just fell in the parking lot.
He did.
He fell in the parking lot. Then the excuses start. Well, I did leg day this morning. Not a good idea after leg day. Dude, you're working mornings now. You can't get up early, work out, and then come to work. That's stupid. But whatever. It was leg day. And I didn't stretch. That second run, I could feel my hammy was about to go, so I decided to eat it instead of blow out a hammy.
That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. I saw 2 feet trip each other.
Yep.
That's what happened. So the bottom line is, and I didn't get to see Edwin. And I look at Edwin, and I think he's fine. He looks like an athlete. But I look at Pledge and Jimenez. An athlete is not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Pledge wants to be.
It's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Jimenez runs, because we all know, because he can't do anything without putting it on social media, 5-8 miles a day. Or I don't know.
I don't know about that. Has anybody ever checked him? I'm not sure that he runs 5 or 8 miles a day.
Maybe it's sometimes, I just knocked out a 5K, which is 3. Whatever, dude.
All right.
I mean, you show up a picture, you're all sweaty, or you doused yourself with a water hose. I don't know.
Exactly.
Because somebody that runs as much as him, I want to see better results, right? But at the same time, whatever. He's trying. I need to start trying. Pledge wants to be an athlete, portrays himself as an athlete. But when you go watch his combine tape, and you can see the video that we're talking about, and watch him just eat it. You got to wait for it. Just eat the asphalt in the parking lot. It's on the social medias. I know it's on our Instagram at SA Sports Star. Did he put it on the SA Sports Star Twitter as well?
I think so.
All right. And I've shared it on my Instagram and all that kind of stuff. You got
to I'll share it on mine too.
Go watch it, because I even say, wait for it, not an athlete.
He tore his tights.
Well, that's it. So finally, James Pledger has a good reason to wear tights, according to James Pledger. Because, now, I didn't check his skin. He did not put another cut on his forehead, so we didn't have to worry about another head injury. His hands are okay, although when you see him fall, you're surprised at that. But the side of him looks like he's going to have that raspberry, right? I mean, just,
And I don't know how he doesn't have one on his knee, because that's where the tights were torn. You can see the hole.
Well, the tights on both knees and one hip and coming up the side, he has ripped up his tights. I mean, now again, as fathers of daughters, I mean, you see them go out and you come back and, they bitch that their hose have all been destroyed or whatever you call it, right? That's what his tights now look like. But he's like, see, this is why you wear tights. It was that, not my skin. Sure.
It's worth your time to watch this video, because you will get a good laugh out of it. I'm really surprised he didn't hurt himself.
Oh, he's hurting.
He's got to be.
He's just hiding.
He's not going to admit it.
He's just hiding it. Even my daughter saw the video. It was like, what did you guys do to Pledge?
Yeah, and it was Pledge's idea.
Pledge did it to himself.
Yeah.
Poor Pledge.
Poor Pledge.
Poor Pledge. Poor Pledge. So if you see Pledge tonight at the Roo Pub, buy him a shot. Poor guy needs it.
Or several.
Yeah.
Because he needs them. You're exactly right.
Of course, he'll be on the Saturday Morning Hangover tomorrow morning at 9.
Hungover.
Probably.
Of course.
But he'll have his workout in. Because if today was leg day, what is tomorrow?
Well, I hope he's got some more tights at home because the ones he was wearing today probably won't do.
Unfortunately, I think he does have more at home.
You know, you ever wear tights?
No.
I don't either.
Edwin, you wear tights? Do you own a pair of tights?
No.
I understand the guys that do when they're playing basketball, when they're doing something athletic. I understand why they do that. I don't understand James Pledger wearing them while he comes to work.
Why do you understand that? You know, again, I guess I'm going to show my age. You know, back in the day,
they're not wearing a jockstrap or drawers. They're wearing tights to keep everything in place.
So that's why.
Yeah.
So, but that's got to go all the way down their leg.
Sure, a little compression helps with circulation. Again, for highly trained athletes, I understand it. For James Pledger, it's a fashion statement.
Yeah, well, a fashion statement.
It's a statement.
What kind of statement is he trying to make?
Exactly. But it's, I mean, love him.
Oh, I do too.
But
great guy.
I don't get it.
He's a different cat. That's for sure.
You know, I'm never going to see Coach K in tights, and I'm okay with that.
No.
But he's got a lot of players that wear them, and he's okay with that. Coach K has adapted through everything.
Sure.
Over his 40 years at Duke. And tomorrow will be the last home game for Coach K.
That's incredible. I mean, because he still looks pretty good. I don't know how old Coach K is.
108.
He's got to be up there, though.
You look at Coach K. You got to believe he spray paints his hair. I mean,
or dyes it, sure.
Same thing.
Right.
Same thing. It's probably the spray paint.
I don't know. My dad used to dye his hair.
Yeah.
He didn't want gray.
You?
No.
No.
Don't have to.
Not yet.
No. Don't have to.
And it's 60 years, you know.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is. Got a little gray on the sideburns and it makes me look distinguished.
Distinguished.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it does. It is incredible when you think about Coach K. I've never been to Cameron Indoor.
No.
I never have. If you have, call us 656-ESPN, 656-3776. You know, of all the bucket list places, sporting events that you would like to go to, Duke UNC at Cameron would be on that list. That would be on your bucket list. Go to Tobacco Road and go to some of those college basketball games. And I've never gone. And I always look at the Cameron Crazies and think, what a fun environment. And a couple of the kids that I've known through the years that have gone to Duke, and they'll tell you stories. You go, man, how awesome is that if you're there as a student, right? I mean, you know, you went to Texas State. You went to Southwest Texas State.
Yes,
they didn't have anything like that.
Not even close. No,
UTSA doesn't have. I mean, Texas. It's hard to capture what they have.
It's very unique. You're right. It's unique.
What I didn't realize was what it takes to actually get a ticket, one of those student tickets. You know, you see the stories with the tents and how they're up there. Well, ESPN has an article today talking at ESPN.com about Tent City, K-ville, all the different names that it has. So for this Duke, North Carolina game, the final game, home game for Coach K, and I appreciate the schedule makers making sure it's Duke, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right? They've been camping out for 32 days so they can get the student tickets for this. Now, mind you, you look right now and it's all over the news. Tickets for this game are Super Bowl level prices.
Outrageous
Tickets. $5,000 each to get in.
Yeah.
So to get into the camp, to be able to camp, the process began on January 23rd, 4 days after you have to take what they call the blue tenting test, which is a 1 hour, 14-page exam covering every facet of Duke basketball, from the history of the UNC rivalry to the life of Coach K, like who was Coach K's high school coach. A record 175 12-member tent team showed up to take the test. The 70 highest scoring tents all earned a spot on the lawn, so they were able to camp out. So a total of 840 students. They started camping on January 23rd. Think about that. Now, there's some things in there. If there's more than 2 inches of snow or it's below 25, they make everybody go back to their dorms or their apartments. Outside of that, your tent team has to man the tent 24 hours a day, and they constantly check it. And if you don't have the required number of people in your team, which overnight you have to have at least 2 people every night spend the night in the tent, and during the day 6 people have to be at the tent, and they might check at 4 a.m., they might check at 2 p.m. You never know when they're going to check, but when they check, if you don't have the proper number of people manning your tent, you get kicked out. You get one miss. Second miss, you're out, and then one of the other teams gets to take your spot.
Would you do that?
If I'm a college kid, hell yeah.
No.
As a college kid?
January what? They started the 23rd. You'd live in a tent outside there in the cold, got down in the 20s, snow falling. I mean, I guess you're allowed to have some beverages and
It's
and
college
things.
kids. Coach K brings a pizza. They all paint themselves blue. It's a party. You know they're drinking. You know there's other stuff going on. It's college party. Again, as a college kid, go back to when you were 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
You know damn well you'd be camping out there. And if you were in a frat or a sorority, they're making you.
They probably, they probably
I mean,
have to make me do it. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know. I mean, is there any sporting event that's worth camping out for, I don't know, 45 days?
You're a 60-year-old man.
I'm just
For
saying,
you, the answer
even
is
back
no.
then, even back then, I don't know. I'm not saying that. There could be something I would camp out for.
Dude, Cameron crazies, man. I just think from a college experience, that's badass. In fact, here's a photo. This looks right up Ryan Eagles' alley. I see a cooler and a case of Keystone. That's college, baby.
That's it. Keystone. You're exactly right.
All right, Edwin, who do we have on the line?
Andy, he's been to Cameron Indoor.
Andy's been to Cameron Indoor. Andy, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Just getting off for spring break this week.
Oh, nice.
Good for you.
So
So Andy, is it worth it? 45 days camping out?
Oh, it's absolutely. I mean, I haven't done it myself. I was not a Duke student, but you know, I went to a small college. I would have loved to have experienced this type of college life, you know, once in my life. That would have been great. At that age, who cares if you stink or you're dirty or whatever? I mean,
well,
it's a 30, 40-day party. I mean, come on.
It's not, appreciate the phone call. It's not like you're not able to rotate in and out. You just always have to have somebody, like, you're not a military man, but you know, when, like in the Navy, everybody has to stand watch at some point. So
Right,
you take your
got you.
rotation standing watch. That's what this is. And I'm looking at the photos. I see the beer cans. There's a couple that looks like they're making out. I'm just saying, if you're a college student, this looks phenomenal.
I don't know.
And not everybody can do it.
Maybe for a week, but like what, 40 days?
23 days.
23 days. No, God, it'd be longer than that.
Well, let's see.
You start on January 23rd?
Let's see if they've got a total. Maybe you're right. Maybe my 23 is January 23rd.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, 32 days ago.
So there you go. 32 days ago.
Yeah.
To get in to watch
a basketball game.
A basketball game.
And-
You know, maybe I'm shaded a little because, you know, watching basketball games is kind of what I've done for a living my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, like I mean, there's a picture of a guy on a laptop doing his Zoom class.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
that's the other thing.
I don't know that I'd go to my Zoom class.
Probably
You know
wouldn't,
what I
but
mean?
you'd miss, I don't know what, 20 days of class, and you probably would fail that semester.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this going, this is awesome. If
Yeah.
I were a young kid and at a school like that, there was that kind of school pride, I'd be all in.
Well, if you're going to Duke, I mean, that's what you do, right? I mean, that's the deal, the basketball team. So
Game tomorrow is going to be incredible to watch. I like, that's going to be must-see TV. ESPN's going to make a I just look at that, just the show, and now I kind of want to see the feature they do, because apparently they've had cameras at Cameron with the crazies in Tent City.
I would have a hard time betting against Duke to win the whole thing, just because of the emotion and all of that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. Let's talk some football. John Machota from The Athletic will join us coming up next. Are you lost on your rundown page?
No, I got it right here.
Are you sure? All right, yeah.
Absolutely.
You're just looking at me weird. John Machota from The Athletic joins us coming up next. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery Club down on San Pedro. If you need your logo on hats, Sam has the largest selection of hats, including the popular Richardson style cap, and he's got plenty in stock. Polos, T-shirts, half zips, you need it, Sam can do it for you. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from, and not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. If you need uniforms done for any kind of athletic league, he can take care of the entire team for you, the entire league. If you're the commissioner, jerseys, shorts, warm-ups, you need the travel bags with the logo on it, kid's name, he can do it for you. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Call Sammy's Embroidery at 210-824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or go to the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Will Amari Cooper be playing somewhere else next season? We'll talk to John Machota coming up right after the Sports Center update. It is the final regular season ball games this weekend of the college basketball season. And 12th-ranked Texas Tech's going to take on Oklahoma State tomorrow in Stillwater. 21st-ranked Texas going to face 6th-ranked Kansas. That also tomorrow afternoon. And the Aggies will finish up the regular season at home against Mississippi State. That's a ball game you can hear right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Tip-off set for 7:30, but it all gets started at 7 o'clock. Lots happening with the Dallas Cowboys. Reports are that the Cowboys are nearing a deal with wide receiver Michael Gallup. Of course, Gallup is recovering from a torn ACL. The Cowboys believe they can bring him back along with Cedric Wilson because it looks like Amari Cooper is out. I'm Joe Reinagel for San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're shopping for a new vehicle, go see my friends over at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you get the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and their service after the sale is second to none. And you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinagel. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate, 210-785-0994, or go online at stevensroofing.net.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data in unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
Progressive presents Forced Metaphors about bundling your home and auto.
When you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, you get great savings and round-the-clock protection, which is as beautiful as looking your firstborn child in the eyes for the first time. Well, that's a bit much. Maybe it's more like looking your second-born child in the eyes for like the third or fourth time. Point being, the savings and round-the-clock protection are really, really magical.
Forced Metaphors, presented by Progressive. Bundle and protect today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Coheed and Cambria. A window of the Waking Minds tour with special guests Dance, Kevin Dance, and Monica. Coheed and Cambria, live in concert. Whitewater Amphitheater, Saturday, July 16th. Get tickets now at whitewaterrocks.com. For more, visit coheedandcambria.com.
Hi, it's Rudy J. I'm here with my lawyer, Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm. Jason, as I'm riding around the city, I notice your nice billboards. They look good, but
I have a couple out there trying to keep up with the competition, I guess.
They look good. Now, I get in a car accident. Am I going to be talking to you? I don't want to talk to some guy that works for you. I want to talk to the guy that's on the billboard.
No, I know. And you know that you talk to me, but
Yes.
and you have, you and I have been friends for a long time, and I've represented you for a long time. But that relationship that you and I have is the relationship I have with a lot of my clients. And I think you're recognizing something that I don't know if everybody knows, that the face on the billboard for that firm might not be the lawyer that you actually get to talk to. That's not true with me, as you know.
Right.
If you call 900-0400, my office number, and you have a question about your case, you're going to talk to me. I'm the lawyer on the billboard, but I'm the lawyer that will handle your case.
Call 210-900-0400, 210-900-0400, or a lawyerforus.com.
Thank you, Rudy.
The play is in. The Blitz with Joe Reinagel and Jason Minix. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Lots of news with the Dallas Cowboys up at the Combine. Let's talk about it with the best. John Machota from The Athletic. John, how's your Friday?
It's going well. There's Cowboys kind of news, nothing definitive yet. I would say little disappointed. My first combine where Jerry Jones is not going to speak with us, so that's disappointing. That's usually one of the highlights of not really just the combine, but it's one of my favorite parts next to probably training camp, covering the team. We go on the bus, hang out with Jerry for about an hour, get to the bottom of things, but Jerry hasn't been out here, so we got word few hours ago that we weren't going to get a chance to talk to him out here. So that in turn to a lot of us that cover the team looking to see if we can get some earlier flights out of here. So that's a little disappointing, but there's still stuff going on Cowboys related. So yeah, no, it's been good.
Well, one of the reasons given was because of a medical issue with Jerry Jones. Any idea of the seriousness of a medical issue or what we're talking about in reality?
Yeah, I don't think it was any type of a serious medical issue. And I wouldn't be surprised if just that message was kind of mixed up on maybe it wasn't even anything medical, to be honest with you. That's just what we were told initially about why it was he wouldn't be meeting with us. But, we got a chance to talk to Stephen Jones real quick, and he said that, his dad's doing great. But he did mention earlier in the week and then again today that Jerry and Roger Goodell had been working on something NFL related, like business side related of things like that sort. So that's why, I haven't even seen him out here. Usually you see him out at night or something like that. And I've seen just about everybody else, front office, coaches, scouts and such. And just, I haven't seen him the entire time I've been out here. And so I don't know that he's even been here.
We know, John, I guess the big news that everybody's reporting on is about Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and what's going to happen with the Cowboys receiving squad there. It sounds like Cooper's out and Michael Gallup's in. What are you hearing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the way. I mean, it was kind of going down that path for several weeks now. That was kind of the word that was coming out. And when Michael Gallup got hurt, I kind of thought that in a way it improved the Cowboys' chances of being able to bring them back, because if he doesn't get hurt and he gets to free agency, I just think that in a way, almost like what they're going to deal with Dalton Schultz, he's almost pricing himself out of the Cowboys budget but now it looks like, he had his surgery last month on the ACL, and he's not going to be able to do very much in the off-season program. He'll probably be on PUP, the physically unable to perform list during training camp, and he might open the season like that. So, who knows? Maybe he misses the first 4 games of the season as he rehabs and gets right. And so because of that, he might want to sign a 1-year deal. So then he can get back to free agency next year after a healthy season. And with Amari, it looks like, he's played his last game with the Cowboys. That obviously opens up more opportunities for Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. And so maybe he has a big season and he makes even more money in free agency. But I will say this, from the first time I talked to Michael Gallup when he was drafted until the most recent time, like, he genuinely loves being in Dallas. He loves playing with Dak. He loves being the Cowboys. So maybe he works out in maybe it's a 2-year deal or 3-year deal and ends up staying, but they're working on it. There's nothing that's done yet, but yeah, that's the way it looks. It looks like, Amari Cooper will probably be playing elsewhere, and they're going to try and bring back Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson to go along with CeeDee Lamb, but that's not going to stop them from potentially drafting another receiver as well. So now I think this is going to be a pretty big offensive draft for the Cowboys.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz. Let's dissect Amari Cooper here for a bit. If they release him, they save about $16 million on the cap. He's obviously, for production, the $20 million or so guaranteed. You go, okay, are you worth that? But they gave up a number 1 for him. So, you could look at it and say you gave up a first-round pick, so he was your de facto first-round pick that year. So you're giving up on him 3 years in, which, has happened before, and we've seen that. Is there any possibility that Amari Cooper redoes his deal and stays for less money?
I don't think so, and one of the reasons why is because if you're him, he enjoyed his time in Dallas. I certainly enjoyed it more than his time with the Raiders. But if you're him, I don't know. I don't think that you hate the idea of getting out into free agency. He'll be one of the top most coveted players in free agency. And so I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to take a pay cut or redo anything. Okay, we'll part ways and I'll get to pick what team I want to sign with, And so I can see him being fine with that as well. So I don't see him taking a pay cut. I really don't. I think that they're going to end up, you'll see these reports of trying to work a trade in that, but you see them in all sports. When it gets to this point, NBA, it's really popular too, where it gets close to the trade deadline, things like that, and they talk about how they're going to try and trade the guy. And 99% of the time, they end up releasing him because the rest of the league knows you're trying to trade him. They're not going to give up a lot because they're like, we can get this guy in free agency. So I don't see a trade. I would be stunned if they traded him somewhere. I think he'll end up being released and signing elsewhere, and they're going to use the money that they save on that. But like I said, get Gallup re-signed, possibly Cedric Wilson, and then add another receiver in the draft.
Well, speaking of receivers, there's a lot been made about Dalton Schultz and what's going to happen with him. And obviously with the news that has come out, his stock seems to have risen with the Cowboys. There was talk about a franchise tag for this guy, but I think that's changed a little bit, hadn't it, John?
Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't give him the franchise tag. He's priced himself out of the Cowboys range because of the way he's played the last 2 years, and the money that he's going to make on the open market is just money that they can't give him. And I guess franchise tagging him wouldn't be the worst idea, but that's still a lot of money to be giving to your tight end when you still have all these other players that you have to pay. And he's hitting free agency at a good time where the tight end market isn't great out there. So I really think how they address that is, they'll probably sign a low tier, 1-year deal type free agent tight end to try and get, a bargain there. And then I would be stunned if they didn't draft a tight end. I think they have to draft one, probably not in the first round. I don't know that there's a first round tight end in this draft, but in the second or third round, I can definitely see them drafting a tight end because you're going to be without Schultz. You're going to be without Blake Jarwin. That's just the way it is at that position. And in a way, I think it's going to lead them to be in more 2-back sets. And for a lot of those Tony Pollard fans out there, you're going to get what you want. I just think they're going to utilize Tony Pollard more in receiver roles and things like that. You're going to have to adjust the offense. You don't have the same offense that you had last year. And frankly, for anyone that, wants to talk about how great the offense was and how skilled it certainly was, but then also look where it got you. So while you sit there and you'd want to run it back with the same team, you can also understand why they might be trying to trim some things and go in a different direction.
Of course, John, it all starts up front with the offensive line. How does Jerry, Steve, and Will McClay in the group address the offensive line situation?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because, for so long, you could always count on, Tyron Smith, and then you had Lyle Collins at right tackle. And the way that they played last year at times, you all of a sudden are like, well, maybe we're not as steady there as we thought we were for the next, few years. So you can't rule out tackle, and then certainly left guard. I mean, that has to be addressed as well. That's why, last year's draft, they did a lot to take care of the defense. I think last two really, and I think this one, there's a lot of pieces on the offense. I could see them spending their first round pick on a guard. I could see them, like I said, go over receiver, tight end. I mean, there's just a lot of areas there on the offense that they need to address. And with the way the offensive line played last year, I mean, no one should be surprised if at the 24th pick they end up taking an offensive lineman. The thing is, if Jason Garrett was still the head coach, that would be the odds-on favorite I would be picking right now. At 24, I'd say the Cowboys are going to take an offensive lineman. But Mike McCarthy, in his time in Green Bay, they didn't draft many offensive linemen and didn't draft them early like that. So maybe he waits till the second or third round. But offensive line, that's right up there with their biggest needs.
Well, that's interesting because that is something they certainly need to address to get all those other pieces an opportunity to perform. Let's talk a little defense, though, John, because Lawrence on one end, Gregory on the other. Are either one of those guys coming back?
Yeah, that's a tough one right now. They're going to want DeMarcus Lawrence to take some type of a pay cut. And as of right now, I don't get the sense that he's going to be willing to do that. Now, things can change. We'll see. I think it's going to be difficult to bring them both back, but at least one of them has to be back. They would just be too thin. After I just got done saying about all the offensive needs they have, then if you don't bring at least one of them back, forget everything I just said about the offense. Number one need has to be defensive end. So that's why I don't think they'll put themselves in that situation. At least one of those guys will come back. I also would keep an eye on Dorrance Armstrong. I can see them trying to work out a team-friendly deal potentially with him to keep him on. But yeah, edge rusher would just be too thin if you don't have one of those two coming back. And so I think that they'll have at least one of those two. As of right now, I would probably lean a little bit towards Randy Gregory. But to me, DeMarcus Lawrence he's one of the most valuable players on the team. I mean, and I don't know how the defense would be as good as it was last year without DeMarcus Lawrence.
John, as you say that, as we visit with John Machota from The Athletic, an authority on the Dallas Cowboys, when you hear people say, what has DeMarcus Lawrence done? I mean, really, does he deserve all that money? The Cowboys don't need him. What has he really done?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was talking to somebody yesterday, NFL scout, about Tyler Biadasz, and it was funny. The scout was talking about how, it's a center thing in the league where, there's plays where you certainly look at Tyler Biadasz and you're like, that wasn't great, but it's like you got to pull yourself back from being a fan sometimes and look at the landscape across the league of how many centers are really that good? It's like they might have a pretty solid one, and so you just don't move on just because he's not as good as Travis Frederick. Well, the same thing with edge rusher. Does he get all the sacks that TJ Watt does? No, but he does so many other things. And to just let him go, you don't think he's playing well? Okay, let me show you what rock bottom is. Give me 17 games with Terrell Basham on one side and Dorrance Armstrong on the other, and then I'm going to circle back with you and you tell me how good DeMarcus Lawrence is. So, and the other thing is that when you pick at 24, could you get a good edge rusher? Sure. Is he going to make an instant impact? I mean, you're not getting Aiden Hutchinson. You're not getting Kayvon Thibodeau. You're going to be getting a guy that's at 24. The chances that he makes an immediate impact, he might not make the type of impact you want for another 2 or 3 years. So, I don't know. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is such a big piece on that defense. I think they'd be in trouble if they let him go.
Would you agree that people that think that way are idiots?
that might. Hey, you know what? That might be a little strong, but if you want to put it that way, sure, I can ride with that.
Yeah,
you hear that, Ryan Eagle?
Yeah, thanks, John.
You hear that?
I appreciate that. I was kind of leaning that way. I have to admit it. But you make a good point. Okay, you make a good point.
You know what it comes down to for me is there's just certain positions, and so maybe I'm the idiot, but I just look at it this way: it's quarterback number one. If you do whatever you can to get that quarterback, and number two for me is it's seriously the edge rusher. And I understand that Micah can do the edge rushing stuff, but in people I've talked to since I've been out here, I do not get the sense that they're going full time Micah at edge rusher. It's because I know that there's people out there, they've talked about the idea of don't resign Gregory, let Lawrence go, make Micah a full time edge rusher. That's not happening. They love the ability to constantly move him around, and not have opposing offenses, basically to have the opposing offense come to the line and go, I don't really know where he's going to line up on this play. They love that. They think that's one of the greatest values with him. So he'll rush from the edges, but they still want him to rush from linebacker as well. He had 7 sacks last year rushing from the linebacker position. So because of that, I need another premier edge rusher out there so that I have guys coming from multiple angles, not just one guy. I don't want the opposing offense looking at my defense going, okay, as long as we can stop 11, we're good here. They need some other edge rushing, or they're going to be in trouble.
You know, it's interesting that you say that about Micah Parsons after I get up from that bus that just rolled over me. It's okay. But is Micah Parsons, though, I mean, in reality, and I know he's a very talented guy, but is he big enough to be that every down edge rusher? It just seems to me like he would just get beat up after a while.
No, and that's part of it as well. But the other thing is too is that you wouldn't be on the field as much. You know, you instead of him potentially playing, you know, in the 60s and snaps and things like that, he'd be down in 35, 40. You know, that's the other thing. They want him to be out there as much as possible. That's why they like him at linebacker. And to your point, yeah, that could be a factor as well. You know, because he hasn't been a full-time edge, you know, since high school. Even at Penn State. Now his Penn State coach will tell you, oh, believe me, he could have played there. Now they had Jason Oweh and some other good players up there. So Mike linebacker was the best fit for Micah Parsons, but no, he could do it. I think he'd be fine being a full-time edge rusher. I just don't think that would be maxing out what all the things that he brings to the table. And also, by the way, it's not like they're like loaded at linebacker either. So it's like if you move him down there, then all of a sudden the linebacker becomes an even bigger need.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because I've seen a lot of mock drafts that they like this kid out of Georgia. And a lot of these mock drafters have him being the first-round pick for the Cowboys.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about him, and I'm pretty sure you're talking about Nakobe Dean, who was a monster in college. The one thing is about him is he is a little bit of a shorter guy, and while that'll work for, I mean, there's plenty of short guys that like they're going to work at the NFL level. I mean, particularly on the back end, there's times where I felt like the Cowboys passed on certain guys that because maybe they were a little bit smaller, but they're still good players. But I just feel like with this current coaching staff, from everything, everybody I've talked to, everything I've heard over the last couple of years, like they really value the length, the speed, the things like that, where I just don't know that he fits with that. Now, I say that maybe he's out there, maybe they like him, and maybe he ends up being the guy. Just the height and the length there, it just doesn't seem to match up with what all the other players at those positions that they're looking for.
John Machota from The Athletic. Before we let you go real quick, because we're up against the time wall, if I remember correctly on Twitter, you tweeted a couple of weeks ago you had to get to Cameron Indoor one more time before Coach K retires. His final game tomorrow. I've never been. It's on the bucket list. What's it like to be in Cameron Indoor for a Coach K game?
Oh, it's amazing. My mom's maiden name is Krzyzewski, so I grew up I'm a huge Duke fan, and so I had seen him a bunch. Like I've seen him when I've been at a couple of their national championship games. I've been in some of their other Final Four games. Seen him when I was growing up in Michigan when they played at Michigan State and Michigan. But I finally got to Cameron a couple of years ago, and then I was like, I got to get back out there this year. Last year on the sideline and that, and it's crazy. I mean, it's awesome. But I mean, now here's the thing: if you aren't obsessed with it, you might not love it because, especially in the lower bowl, which aren't a lot of room, you're squished in there. It's like bleacher type seating. So if you're not really into it, you probably want to be in the upper bowl or whatever. But there's nothing like it because you're watching elite college basketball talent, guys that you know are going to be playing on the next level in a high school gym. I mean, there's not a bad seat in the entire building. And the other thing is that not just inside of Cameron, but on the entire campus, they do a great job of making you feel like you might be in the 1940s. Like they do a great job of, even when they make renovations, they try and keep it as uniform as possible with the brick, like the woodwork, everything, to where it really feels like almost like when you're at Wrigley or at Fenway, like you feel the history when you're in there.
That's incredible. And you saved a couple of dollars by not waiting for the game tomorrow.
Believe me, there's multiple times that I've went on StubHub and gone, man, $3,000 is so much. Is it really worth doing this? I'm like, no, just close the window. You're not doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it for sure. It's gonna be great.
If you're not already, subscribe to The Athletic so John can go to one of those games at some point down the road.
Help him out.
Yeah, please do.
John Machota from The Athletic. Always appreciate it. We'll catch up soon.
Sounds good, guys. Take it easy.
And if you're not already, it's kind of a joke. subscribe to The Athletic. It's incredible stuff.
Machota's great. He really is. And just goes to my point. When you start thinking like a fan, he's got a common sense solution to that.
Yeah.
Just like he did.
He agrees with me.
Well, not really.
Because I can take the fan hat off. And I do.
No.
You don't take the Cowboy hate glasses off.
No, I don't hate the Cowboys. That's where you're wrong. I still think they'd be okay without D-Law.
Yeah.
They'd be okay. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, okay.
I
stand by that.
I will.
Yeah.
I will absolutely stand by that.
Although
I think they'll be okay.
You need to go down the hall and try to wash off some of those tire marks that are all over that bright pink shirt of yours.
And we're going to find out this season too. So it won't be long before we'll know who's right.
If you want to go see Greta Van Fleet, we'll give away those tickets coming up in just a couple of minutes. Hell, let's do it now. Caller 12, those tickets are yours. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll also give away some Brooks and Dunn tickets as well before 7 o'clock. You know, it's Friday. You think about your weekend breakfast. Make sure you get some Kia Boss's Smoked Meats Maple Breakfast Links. They're available at select H-E-B stores. If you haven't tried them already, man, you are missing out. These breakfast links are a little sweet, a little savory, totally delicious. Perfect as part of that nice big weekend breakfast spread. But even during the week, you're busy, they come fully cooked. All you got to do is heat them up, and you got a great breakfast as you head to work or head to school. You can find Kia Boss and Maple Breakfast links at select H-E-B stores.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. San Antonio Sports Star Drive to End Hunger is going on now through March 25th. Just go to sasportstar.com to give what you can or just find drop-off locations. It's all presented by the Institute for Functional Health, Rambler Sparkling Water, Copenhagen Imports, and Airtron.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person counts.
I'd rather not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Today on Hey Culligan, sustainability and better water. Here's Sam.
Hey Culligan, I'm really into sustainability. My clothes, my utensils, my food. But how do I get more sustainability from my water?
Super question, Sam, and the answer is an always-on drinking water system from Culligan, which helps eliminate the equivalent of 15 billion single-use plastic bottles a year.
Whoa, that's a ton of sustainability.
416,000 tons, Sam, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It's Rob Thompson. The biggest headlines in sports. Rudy J and I break them down weekday mornings, 7 till 10 on R&R in the morning. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Ryan Angle, you do all the grocery shopping in your house, don't you?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so.
I do not, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Kroger is coming to San Antonio.
Why?
Exactly.
Didn't H-E-B run them out of town already?
Yeah, about 30 years ago. According to an article that's on KSAT.com, Kroger is returning to the San Antonio market after nearly 30 years. But it's not going to be your grandma's grocery store. They're coming with online-based grocery and delivery service, 160 jobs, and a lot of robots. Instead of stores, you're going to see refrigerated trucks, and they're going to lease a 67,000 square foot facility on the northeast side. But basically, it's all e-commerce. You want to do your grocery shopping and have it delivered, they are going to do that for you.
We do that on occasion with Amazon.
Uh-huh.
And they'll, you call them, you place your order, and then they'll deliver it right to your door. So I guess that's what they're trying to get in on.
I guess I don't quite understand that, because you've got Amazon, you've got H-E-B doing that. Overall, they say online orders generally have seen order increases from 3 to 5% of overall sales to up to 20% during the pandemic for the high-tech fulfillment model. I don't know.
What is the high-tech fulfillment model?
Ordering online.
That's high-tech fulfillment?
Yes.
Wow. Then I'm high-tech, I guess.
Well,
who knew?
Well, again, it's you're not going into the store, so they don't need the brick and mortar, as more and more people are doing it that way. I just don't know how Kroger is going to be able to compete with H-E-B or Amazon if you're buying your groceries online.
No, I don't know either, but they must think they do all those studies
Sure.
and whatever before they embark on something like that. But sometimes I like to go into the grocery store. I usually buy too much when I do it that way, but
yes,
I enjoy doing it that way.
It's one of those things. It's like buying clothes online or shoes. Like I couldn't buy shoes online.
You can't, because you got to try them on.
Yeah, Rob Thompson buys shoes online all the time.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's hard to do.
Who knows? You need something quick, I guess. I don't know.
I just wonder if Kroger's one of those companies that just is hard-headed.
They feel like they can compete.
They got their butts whipped by H-E-B once. Probably will again.
My guess is we all win, right?
Yeah,
because
maybe.
H-E-B was some competition.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think they're feeling the competition, though, just from what we said, because I think some people are ordering that stuff, and it's just so convenient to have those groceries delivered right to your front door. But I don't know. I'm an old guy, so I like going to the grocery store.
Get off my lawn.
That's right.
We gave away the Greta Van Fleet tickets. We got a winner, Edwin.
John Craddock.
All right, John, congratulations. You're going to go see Greta Van Fleet. If you didn't win your tickets, livenation.com. The Dreams and Gold Tour at the AT&T Center November 5th. On June 11th. Brooks and Dunn and the Reboot Tour are going to be at the AT&T Center. Again, tickets available at livenation.com, or you could win a free pair right now. Caller number 9, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. You're going to go see Brooks and Dunn as part of the Reboot Tour, June 11th, down at the AT&T Center. Let me tell you about River City Oral Surgery. If you need any kind of oral surgery, the best place to go is River City Oral Surgery and Dr. Mark Havercorn. He's an oral surgeon, he's a medical doctor, and he specializes in all types of oral surgery, including implants. Now, think about implants. If you're missing some teeth and maybe a little embarrassed when you laugh or smile, you can replace them with implants. And another reason why missing teeth, that affects the way you use your mouth. You might have trouble speaking, eating, chewing properly. Correct those issues with dental implants. They look natural. They feel natural. They stay securely in place. and they're built to last a lifetime with proper care. In 2021 alone, Dr. Mark Havicorn placed over 1,200 dental implants. He's an expert at it. And River City Oral Surgery, their business model different than everybody else. They offer direct care. That means they won't take your insurance. They're a cash business. The prices are listed right on the website, and you don't need a referral. So you don't have to go to multiple dentist appointments to get referred to an oral surgeon. You just call up Dr. Mark Havicorn, and they get you in. And again, go to the website, rivercityoms.com. All the prices are right there. Financing is also available. Call 210-778-0002. Tell them Jason Minnick sent you for comfortable, natural-looking implants. River City Oral Surgery, 210-778-0002, or online at rivercityoms.com.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Hey, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
If you're a guy over 30 and feeling frustrated about your health, listen up. Not feeling yourself lately? Are work and relationships getting you down? Do you feel a lack of energy and focus on the things that matter to you most? All men around age 30 have the potential for their testosterone levels to decline naturally. When that happens, life can feel out of control. If that's you, then it's time to rethink your health with Synergenics Testosterone Replacement Therapy. For more info and to schedule an appointment, head over to 800lowt.com today and get your life back.
This flu season update is sponsored by Exergen. Do you have the flu? Here's CBS News medical contributor, Dr. David Agus.
The flu classically doesn't have GI symptoms to start and respiratory symptoms. It can, but it doesn't. But they can imitate each other. So the flu classically starts with fever and chills. And then if you have it for more than 3 days, you need to go to your doctor.
The leading sign of COVID is a fever. So everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Try the Exergen temporal scanner and learn more at Exergen.com.
My sign is a potential customer's first impression, so it needs to be perfect.
It's possible at Staples.
There are 4 other bakeries within 5 blocks of here. My shop needs to stand out.
Also possible. With Staples print and marketing services, small businesses can print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Create your sign at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 3/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
My name is Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for 50 years. I went to school here. I graduated from law school here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after a serious injury or a fatality collision for more than 27 years. If you're in your car right now, chances are you're seeing an attorney billboard, and you'll probably see 3 or more of those on your commute today. How do you decide who to call? Who to trust? I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. I'm experienced. I have a long track record of success, and I run my firm like my father did for over 50 years of practicing law here. I believe that a personal, trusting relationship with my client matters. With my firm, I meet with you. I answer your questions. I handle your case. For many lawyers you see on the billboard, your case will not be handled by the attorney on that billboard. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. If you or your family needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, an attorney that will personally handle all of the issues after a serious injury or fatality, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, 900-0400, 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minnick, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minnick. You can be a part of the show on a Friday.
It is Friday.
Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Tweet at Reinagle. He is at Joe Reinagle 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minnick.
That sound like a rapper?
No.
Joe Reinagle 210.
It really did.
No?
No.
I kind of think JR 210. I don't know, man. I'm getting that vibe. I got it.
Hour 3, the dude is punch drunk. When was the last time you saw anybody trying to beatbox?
I don't know.
Mean, how old are you?
I do a mean sprinkler too, by the way. You ever get on the dance floor and get you a sprinkler going?
Is that what it's called?
That's it.
Thought you were in the men's room with the mean sprinkler.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Good Lord. Edwin, you sure you want to be a part of this show?
Just because of you, Jason.
Oh, what? Whoa. What's going on over there, man? I've been taking up for you all day.
Used to be neighbors, and we didn't even know it.
Who,
That's
you
true.
and Jason?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go for the neighbor thing.
He's that kind of kid, clearly, that never went outside.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Abby, I don't know this, but literally, when we moved our old neighborhood, come to find out, he lives in the same neighborhood.
Right down the street somewhere, huh?
Right down the street.
You never saw him?
What year did you graduate?
2016.
26.
I'm sorry, 2014. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, because my daughter graduated 2016. You're a little older than her.
You're the Spurs won the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good times.
It was a good time.
It was a great time.
You know who else used to live over in that area? Patty Mills.
Really?
Yep.
I never saw him either.
It's because you never went outside.
Well,
You still don't go outside.
What did you see him out there?
Dude, right after they won the championship, the very next day, Patty Mills is at the Baskin and Robbins right over there at 281 in Evans.
Yeah.
Him and his dog. He's still wearing the same thing, but they stopped to get ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, we're in line at Baskin Robbins. Come to find out, I think my daughter and the dude that was working there, were talking or whatever. So that's all of a sudden, we were going to Baskin Robbins a lot. It took me a while to figure out why, right? But Patty Mills walks in, and it was a hell of a party. And then, the whole Spurs team, after they won the title, closed down the Roo Pub.
Oh, I'm sure.
The whole team was at the Roo Pub. I mean, everybody was there that night. But yeah, Patty used to live right down the street.
Well, I saw Monty Ginobili and Tim Duncan once in the HEB over off Leon Springs out by the Dominion.
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of, it's kind of cool to see those guys. And you realize, what, they've got a...
Why were you at that HEB?
Well, why not?
Well, that's not your HEB.
No, it was because I lived right after I was actually single.
Yeah,
so there were some apartments over there I lived in. That was the closest grocery store.
All right.
And so I'd go in there.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
See, now all you got to do is go to Kroger and they'll bring it to you.
No, I feel disloyal if I do that.
No, it's interesting because.
How do you know I don't, Botello?
Well, Boteo Franklin on Facebook Live says his name is Botello to me.
Botello?
Well, because he's a Washington fan, so he will always have an incorrect name for that reason. But he says it sounds like Joe has a MySpace.
I did at one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, sure.
No,
you know what? I'm not sure that I did because that was like the first thing that came out. I don't think I did.
You probably did.
Nah, well, if I did, I wasn't very good on it. I didn't talk on there.
It's just like all your other social media handles that you have now.
Well, that's true. Although I'm getting a little bit better about it. I retweet a lot.
You're a retweeter.
And add it to my story on Instagram.
Yep. Well, that must be new, adding to your story.
Well, since I started here.
You learned.
Well, and now that I've got a cool name, Joe Reinagle 210. I mean, think about that. It looks pretty good.
It does.
It does.
It looks really good.
Yeah. Joe Reinagle was taken by me.
With a password you can't remember.
Exactly.
And an email you no longer have access to. That's why you don't do things like that on your company email account.
I know it. Took me a long time to get a personal email because for years I would do everything through the Kins 5 email. And, after a while, it's like, maybe that's not the best of ideas. There are some things that are, personal. So that you might not want the big brother to be watching over your shoulder.
Sure. So
I
you got an
finally
AOL
changed.
account.
I had an AOL account.
Of course. I know some people that still use their AOL accounts.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't have an AOL?
No.
You've got mail.
No.
I love that.
I never did have AOL.
All right. I did. I mean, that was the first internet thing, the internet provider, I guess.
I think I
It was
had
AOL.
I think it was Hotmail at the time, then Gmail and Yahoo. And Yahoo's the one I use the most. And then I've got one when I fill out stuff that I never want to hear from you. I've got that generic email that I never check, but I always give that out.
Well, I'm not talking about email, although I guess there was an email address with it, but it was a whole thing. AOL.
I know, but I was in the military at the time. I had a MIL account.
Okay.
.mil. Military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mine was .AOL.
Joe Reinagel. 210.
210.
Good
Boom.
Lord.
Let's go.
I want to talk. We'll get into the Spurs. There's an interesting commentary by Nick Friedel, who's a really good dude. Can we pull this up? I'm going to play this right off of Twitter, which is always dangerous. But Nick Friedel's good dude. He's ESPN's basketball guy that follows the big team.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, he was living in San Francisco covering Golden State. Now Nick is in New York. We might have to try to get him on soon because, he's covering the Brooklyn Nets. And there's so many storylines about when is Ben Simmons going to make his debut with the Brooklyn Nets. And a lot of jokes started like, okay, they play Philadelphia on the 10th, so he'll be ready to go on the 11th because,
doesn't want to play Philadelphia.
He doesn't want to play his whole team. Friedel dropped some news today that to me is just baffling when it comes to Ben Simmons. Hang on.
A little more serious than they thought.
Let's
People
try
have to
that
remember
again.
something. Malika, it's still at least a few more weeks away. I think this back issue was a little more serious than they thought. People have to remember something. Simmons still hadn't been cleared for practice at all. So he had been doing some individual work, and his teammates had been getting to know him a little bit, but he hadn't gone through anything in a team setting. Sean
How
Marks,
is this even
an
possible?
SPM, gave an interview
Not-
to Yes Network last
9 months, and they're figuring out he now has a back issue. How did he pass a physical?
This sounds like Kawhi Leonard 2.0.
Oh my goodness! And now at the end of the Friedel report, he says, according to Dr. Kevin Durant, mentally he's okay, which has always been one of the questions.
So Durant or Simmons?
Simmons.
Simmons.
Yes, that's why I called him Dr. Durant.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Talking about,
All right.
that is in his headspace, because that's been the biggest concern. Now, as seriously as all of us should take mental health right now, although when he first started talking about it, as late as he started talking about mental health as a reason not to play, I felt like he was using that as an excuse. I only got one more card left, so let me throw that one out there because what are you going to say, right? But now it's his back. What have you been doing for 9 months that you've got a back injury now that's keeping you from being able to even practice with your team?
I am so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am when all the rumors were and everybody, every Spurs fan wanted Ben Simmons here. I was like, please keep that guy as far away from the city as humanly possible. Whether he plays in Brooklyn or not this year remains to be seen. Whether he plays again remains to be seen. I mean, this guy is just one of those guys you don't want anywhere near your basketball team. He's one of those guys, and you just don't. We had that guy. It was Kawhi Leonard, and he blew this team up completely, and I will always dislike him for that. And he's not playing, although I hear he's getting close. But it's just, there's some guys in the NBA or the NFL or whatever professional sport that you just hope never lands in your city, and Ben Simmons was that guy.
But he goes to Brooklyn, and you look at Brooklyn. I mean, they've been in a tailspin since Kevin Durant's been out injured.
Sure.
I mean, they were the 2 seed and then dropped down to the 8. If they change some of the COVID protocols and they're able to get Kyrie back full time over the final 18, 20 games, whatever's left for Brooklyn, and you get Durant, and then a functioning Ben Simmons, that's one hell of a basketball team.
Maybe. You don't know what you're going to get out of Ben Simmons. You have no idea.
Well, I don't think he's there for the offense, and they don't need him for offense.
Well, because he can't play offense.
But he could be there for the defense. But he can play offense when he wants to.
Nah,
that's the crazy thing. Just don't let him shoot free throws. But you're looking at this guy and the amount of money that you pay them. Whether it's Russell Westbrook and him going off on the media last night because the Lakers lost again.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like James Harden. You look at all these guys that have never won a damn thing that make so much money, and they're so talented individually. They are talented.
That's the key word right there. Individually.
Yeah.
They care about individually. That's it. And that's the problem. You've got to be a team player.
You wonder what can the NBA do when you look at these guaranteed contracts, 4 or 5 years. And football is the same way. NFL football is exactly the same way. You can be a knucklehead, but if you can help my team win, we'll put up with the BS. But it does seem like there's more BS type stuff at the NBA level. I mean, the fact that you're able to trade a Harden for a Ben Simmons, here's your headache for my headache.
Yeah, exactly.
It is insane. A couple of years ago when Houston was able to rid themselves of Chris Paul, you're like, who's going to take that contract? Well, somebody did, and it's worked out great for the Phoenix Suns. But you look at some of these others and you go, how do you move these contracts around? And why are you willing to take those on to go chase? I mean, the idea is to go chase a title, but again, you don't know what you're getting.
I think sometimes GMs think that our situation here is much different than the situation there. And we get a guy over here, change the scenery, everything is going to be okay. And we can coddle this guy or tell him what he wants to hear or whatever the case may be, and he's going to play ball here. James Harden can't figure out where he wants to play. I mean, he can't. Now Philadelphia's the greatest place on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was Brooklyn, then it was Houston, then it was Oklahoma City. And when guys bounce around like that and just never win, you can't even say Harden's chasing a ring. I wouldn't, because he's never gotten one, and he's been on some good teams.
But he is chasing it because he keeps ending up in places that you go, man, you add James Harden to that mix. That's a championship caliber team.
Well, your defense just got a lot worse.
It did, but your offense got a lot better, and your fashion levels have upped a tick or three. But you look at it. You look at James Harden on Philadelphia with Embiid. All right, I can go with that. Ben Simmons with a fully functioning everyday guy in Kyrie, and why the NBA isn't pushing or New York City isn't allowing him to play at this point is beyond me. I know the numbers have dropped to a certain level, and whatever you might believe when it comes to all this, you look around and you go, okay, the NFL just dropped all COVID protocols in the middle of a combine, which a week before the combine, they tried to create a bubble. That idea went nowhere fast. Nobody was going to show up. So they changed those rules real quick to get people to show up. And then in the middle of it, the NFL says, yeah, no more COVID protocols. You don't have to wear a mask. Reporters can go in the locker room. No more daily testing. It's business as usual. Caveat, if numbers spike, we can put in our own protocols. All right, that makes sense. New York, LA, mask mandates, they're lifted. No masks in schools in New York anymore. Although I believe New York City is keeping masks on for another week or whatnot. Yet Kyrie still can't play home games.
But the stupidest thing about that is that, I don't know, Patty Mills, he plays there. Give me a player. LeBron James can walk into New York City unvaccinated. He is vaccinated. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying a player can walk into that and play. It's the most ridiculous thing and stupid backward thing I've ever seen.
And the NBA, now there are going to be some when the rule gets lifted, and it will get lifted for Kyrie before the start of the playoffs, so he can play in every one of their games.
I'm sure it will.
Home game, road game. But right now, I look at where Brooklyn's at in the standings, and I go, well, that's perfect. Because at the very least, Kyrie can play in every road game. And if you don't have home court in a 7-game series, he's got the ability to play in 4 of those games instead of 3. Where if you're with home court advantage, that's a disadvantage for Kyrie's availability. As dumb as that sounds, that's the truth. My guess is that the NBA or the New York rule maker will change the rule and allow Kyrie to play. And of course, a whole bunch of people are going to go ape bleep saying that's not fair, that they're changing it just for the playoffs. And they are, just like
the NFL
changed things for the playoffs.
Yep.
Just like there was no COVID issues with the teams that were in the playoffs, but there was all kinds of COVID issues for the teams in regular bowls.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems. The NBA has already lifted it for the most part. They've gotten rid of it. It's the cities now that, and even Adam Silver was pressing the mayor of New York City to end all of this and let Kyrie play, because even Adam Silver said the same thing I just did. It's the stupidest thing in the world that a guy can come into town not being vaccinated. He can play, but Kyrie Irving at home can't play.
Now, I could see if in your city, depending on what the numbers are, and I haven't seen what the numbers are in New York lately. I haven't looked. But I know if they're taking masks off of kids in schools, they must be dropping to a certain level. And I saw the mayor of New York saying, we're going to wait a week. The state did this. We're going to wait a week because they've been on vacation. We're going to see what they look like when they come back before we take the mask off. We're getting close to that point. Why not just give Kyrie a waiver? I mean, there might be some political backlash, and I know that the mayor denied that request for the Nets because he doesn't want the political backlash, but I don't understand why.
He looks like a fool, though. He looks like a fool, Jason. When you, again,
it's political.
That on its face. When a player can come in there and play unvaccinated, but a player, because his home is there, he can't play. It's just, tell me where that makes any sense at all.
It doesn't. None of it at this point seems that the inconsistencies, like when we were in Los Angeles, we're in Los Angeles covering the Super Bowl, checking vax cards and wearing masks indoors to walk into a restaurant or a bar, right? Knowing, because they announced it, the following Tuesday, they were going to lift the mandate.
Yep.
That's what I didn't understand. All right. So it's Thursday. We're going to a bar. Got to wear a mask. But next Tuesday, I won't have to.
Right.
I don't understand we're going to, next Tuesday, after all you people leave town, we're going to lift the mask mandate. Yet you see the mayor in LA walking around without his mask on. You just look at it and you sit there and look, I'm not a Nets fan and I'm not a fan of Kyrie. I think that guy's, off his rocker. But him not being able to play home games right now just is unfair.
It's foolish.
It really is.
It's ridiculous, and there's no explanation for it, especially, as I've mentioned many times, you can come in there and play without being back. It's ridiculous. All of this needs to go away, and it's just time. It's time. Let's end it and get back to life, please.
Well, some of us have.
Well, I have, and thank God we're in Texas. That's all I have to say.
And that's it. I mean, the political landscape, maybe the mayor of New York hates the Nets and he's a big Knicks fan. So, and you know what? There's a part of me that would appreciate that if that's what he would say. But to say, well, we can't make an exception for one because of what of that guy. And I get that's political.
Well, it's political because the way I understand it, and I heard the mayor say this, employees of the city are still required to be vaccinated and masked. So he's saying if it's unfair to allow Kyrie to do that, if the employees of the city can't. And with that, I understand. However, the other rule is stupid, and you just need to waive it for everybody.
You make exceptions to every rule anyway.
Exactly.
And I understand. And I'm sure there's lots of businesses right now where the job requires you to wear a mask. I'm fine with that. You work there if that's your job requirement. You want a paycheck, you deal with it because that's what your job has said that they need to do to protect their employees. That's a poor reason on the part of the mayor, I think, that, well, our employees have to, so Kyrie can't. Kyrie doesn't work for you.
The whole
He
thing's
works
dumb.
in your city,
The whole
but he
thing's
also lives in New Jersey, so you're not making his tax money.
The whole thing's
But
dumb.
at some point, the NBA needs to make sure that it's fixed, and I guess it will be prior to the start of the postseason.
I'm sure it will. The whole thing's dumb, okay? How do
you really feel?
I feel like the whole thing's just not smart at all.
Well, and speaking of dumb, and I know we're up against the break, but you just reminded me of something.
By saying dumb?
Yeah, you've got to find something to watch.
I do.
Now that you have your nights free, the weekend is here. Watch Inventing Anna on Netflix. It's a fantastic show.
Okay.
And it's loosely based on a true story. In fact, they tell you everything in here is true except for what is not. They just don't tell you what is not, right? But the chick that the story is based off of is a real person, and she's really in jail right now. She is now suing the jailers because they refused to give her a booster shot and she caught COVID. And so now there's a class action suit amongst inmates that didn't get boosted that caught COVID, and they're suing the jails because of that.
I wonder why they would refuse to do that. I thought that was a thing to do.
I thought it was a thing to do, but I thought, man, that's of all the things that you would think, that's not one of them. But watch Inventing Anna. It's really good.
Okay, I'll do that. Not tonight, though. I probably
you're going to go drinking tonight.
I'll probably do something.
You've
tonight.
got a Friday night off. Now,
it's Friday.
If you do end up in jail this weekend, because look, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen. Whether you're vaccinated or not, they'll take you in there if you deserve it. But you want to get out of jail fast? Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available. They offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Will the Cowboys keep Amari Cooper, or is he gone? And if he's gone, who are they going to sign? We'll talk about that after the Sports Center update. By the way, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, not speaking to the media in Indianapolis this week, they said it was a minor medical issue. However, now we think that might not be the case. He's just not there, and he's working on other things. Looks like Mr. Jones is okay. Well, Adam Schefter first reported this earlier today that the Cowboys are expected to release wide receiver Amari Cooper if they can't find a deal for him, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. Cowboys want to prioritize Michael Gallup, who is a free agent. By the way, releasing Cooper would save the Cowboys a lot of money on the salary cap. A lot of college basketball this weekend, as well as it is the final weekend of the regular season. I'm Joe Reinagle for San Antonio Sports Star.
You can talk low carb all you want, but if you don't have a lineup of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the keto game. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are high protein and low carb. Plus, they're low sugar, gluten-free, and naturally loaded in collagen. So it is a no-brainer. Get the bold flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds. There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Did you know that every diamond at Diamonds Direct is over 1 billion years old? They were created by intense pressure and heat over 100 miles inside the Earth, only coming to the surface by way of a volcano. then each one meticulously extracted by miners, then cut and polished by true craftsmen. See why we get excited about diamonds at Diamonds Direct? These are rare and precious stones, symbolizing love for generations. If you're getting engaged, come let our passion be your guide. At Diamonds Direct, we'll tell you everything there is to know about diamonds. We'll show you dozens and dozens in your price range. We'll share industry secrets that can help you maximize your budget, and we'll guarantee you the best price anywhere in America. See, we're obsessed with diamonds. We're fascinated by them because, like snowflakes, no two diamonds are the same. Each one has its own unique characteristics, and we're devoted to helping you choose the one, the special one, that speaks only to you. Diamonds Direct. At the shops at La Cantera, across the lot from Nordstrom.
If you're suffering every day with joint pain, stop and listen. You can get real, lasting relief now with natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's James Pledger. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue with no surgery and no drugs. This is the relief that you've been hoping for your aching hips, knees, shoulders, lower back. The unique protocols at QC Kinetics were created by a physician with years of study in regenerative, restorative medicine. They're treating patients every day in hundreds of clinics nationwide with remarkable success, life-changing results, zero downtime. This is the new, better, smarter, non-surgical, non-invasive way to deal with joint pain. And yes, they're right here, ready to help you now. Make this spring and summer your best ever with no joint pain holding you back. QC Kinetics, locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call 210-571-0318 for a free consultation. That's 571-0318.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Make sure to tune in tomorrow morning to the Saturday morning hangover with a well-skinned up need, James Pledger.
You think he's going to be okay to play hurt?
He'll play hurt.
He'll play hurt?
He'll play hurt.
Okay.
I mean, he'll be better than you at beatboxing. That is for sure.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty solid.
You were the only one. Twin Peaks. The $2 million bracket challenge presented by Dos Equis is at Twin Peaks. Go to twinpeaksbracketchallenge.com. When it's tournament time, submit your bracket for all the games in the men's college basketball tournament between Sunday the 13th and Thursday the 17th, and you could win yourself $2 million with a perfect bracket.
I'd go for $2 million.
I certainly could.
Perfect bracket. That's tough.
Let's face it. Ain't nobody going to win that.
Well, you never know. You don't think you're going to win the lottery either, but, people do.
True.
So you never know, right? As long as you have Duke there winning it all.
Do you think Duke, in Coach K's final year,
wouldn't that be the fairy tale?
Do you think he goes out cutting down the nets?
Fairy tale. Why not?
Sure.
I think, I think a lot of people will have them winning it all. They've got a good team.
I hope a lot of people have them winning it all.
Plus the sentiment of him leaving.
I hope we have a lot of people winning it all.
I sense some sarcasm there.
Just everybody that picks Duke, you're out of my way.
Ah, okay. Well, who do you got?
Duke. No, I'm kidding. It's too early to tell.
What do you mean it's too early to tell?
It's too early to tell.
So you want to see how the regionals all match up?
I want to
how
see the matchups. I want to see the regions. I got to look to see my 12-5 upset because that always seems to happen. Want to see, who are the ones? I think we have a good idea, but the twos but what regions are they in?
Yeah.
What's the travel? Hell, I want to know who's coming to San Antonio.
Yeah, no
first
kidding.
and foremost, because we got a lot coming into San Antonio here. Was it not the 24th?
It's the second week of the tournament.
The 24th and 26th we'll have games down at the AT&T Center. So absolutely, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And there's a lot of teams that are kind of dark horses. I wouldn't count Texas Tech out. I think they've got at least a team that can make a run through the tournament. Again, though, depending on where they're at.
Baylor's right up there.
Another one. You're right.
It won't be the Longhorns.
No.
Probably won't be the Aggies.
No, I can almost guarantee that.
The Aggies do close out the regular season tomorrow against Mississippi State. You can listen to that game starting at 7 tomorrow night here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Not to change the subject or anything, but I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam Schefter just reported that Brian Griese is leaving the Monday Night Football booth to be the quarterback's coach of the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I'm glad that Brian Griese read the writing on the wall when they gave $18 million a year to Troy Aikman for your job.
So you didn't think they were going to be partners?
Well, no.
Brian Griese, Troy Aikman, come on.
And Lou Riddick is going to end up in some team's front office. Here's what I find fascinating is Troy Aikman has finally publicly talked about taking the job at ESPN.
Yeah.
Talked about the appreciation and actually admitted Fox never really got into the negotiation.
I am shocked by that.
With the amount of money that they started talking about, Fox is like, enjoy.
Yeah.
What the big question that I have now, do they let Joe Buck leave Fox with a year left on his contract? And what does ESPN offer up Fox to let Joe Buck walk? Because it's the dream matchup, the idea of 1 year with Al Michaels. If you're Al Michaels, are you going to sign a 1-year deal with ESPN?
No.
It's Troy and it's Joe Buck. That's the matchup. I was reading on Awful Announcing some of the speculation, and I find it fascinating, the horse trading that could be going on with Big Ten football.
Yeah.
So we'll let Joe walk, but we want Michigan, Ohio State on Fox instead of ESPN, ABC.
I think they said they wanted 3 games, is what I heard.
Yep.
Right? That, of course, being one of them, because that's the marquee matchup in the Big Ten.
And because how the TV world works with these games and the contracts, and, the conferences have contracts with both. There is no exclusive home for the major conferences. Is you get some pecking order and you take turn. Who picks first? Who picks second? Imagine as you're trying to figure out your fantasy football draft and everybody you put the numbers in the hat and then everybody draws one out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's kind of how the networks decide who gets what game. All right, this week I'm picking first, you pick second, and then, and then vice versa. So does ESPN give up a couple of marquee games? And quite frankly, I don't know why they wouldn't to get Joe Buck.
Well, it's more ABC, right? Because that game's on ABC. It's not on ESPN.
It's ABC, ESPN. It's Disney.
Right.
It's Disney against Fox at this point.
So if I'm Fox, and that ESPN, that Troy Aikman wants Joe Buck, why not ask for the moon? You ask for whatever you can get. I mean, say, hey, okay, we'll let him walk. Give us this. If you're ESPN, what else do you have?
ESPN isn't over a barrel over this because there's only 1 year left on the Joe Buck deal with Fox. And if you're Fox, do you want one of your marquee talents unhappy? The answer is no. Now, Joe Buck is a professional. I don't think he would mail in a game, and he's not going to call in sick.
No.
And he's not going to be a jerk. But everybody knows he's leaving. And you have to replace Troy Aikman already. It's in your best interest, if you're Fox as well, to roll out a solid number one team. I don't know that 1 year of Joe Buck and Greg Olson is going to have Joe going, I love Troy, but this Olson guy's pretty good. Let's do a 20-year run with him.
No, but a big contract would. I mean, if you're Joe Buck and Fox is going to come back and give you the money that you're looking for, hey, Troy, I love you. We'll get together for barbecues on a Wednesday night or whatever. I mean,
and that could be because Joe Buck apparently makes $11 million a year right now from Fox.
Exactly.
He'll probably get a contract similar to what Troy is getting at ESPN, although he's going to have to work a lot harder for it. Troy is going to work a lot harder for his 18, his 5-year, $90 million deal, because ESPN is going to require him to do a bunch of shows and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that comes with the territory. The idea that Joe Buck would do the same thing, and Joe Buck with ESPN baseball's the ESPN baseball package as well as football. If you're Joe Buck, though, do you want to leave Fox and lose the World Series? Do you want to leave? I mean, there's some things that he gets to do.
Well, and here's the other thing that I think Fox is, and I'm going to get in their head, and this is what I'm thinking. When you look at football, and we're just talking the NFL right now, Sunday is the day. Everybody's watching football on Sunday.
Sunday, 3 o'clock.
Not everybody's watching football on Monday night.
No.
So if you go with Troy, and happy for Troy that he's making his money and he's going to do some other things, maybe that's not as attractive to Joe Buck as staying with Fox and being able to do the marquee game at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
That Andrew Marchman, who's like the top media writer for the New York paper, I remember a while ago when they did the last deal, the amount of money that was spent. ESPN demanded better games on Monday Night Football. My guess is with the investment of $90 million in Troy Aikman and whatever they're going to end up paying Joe Buck, they have some assurances from the league that they're going to have some matchups that are going to be must-watch television. And the idea of creating a booth that everybody seems to love, because everybody loves and hates both Troy and Joe, because everybody thinks those two hate their team, but they all consider them the best in the business. Like, universally, we all agree that Chris Collinsworth sucks.
Yes.
Right? Yet we watch the game despite him because the matchup.
Right.
And it's Sunday Night Football.
Yes.
I think creating better matchups with the investment that ESPN and ABC are making in Monday Night Football, there's got to be better matchups coming their way, and they know it, or they wouldn't be making that kind of investment.
Well, you got to wonder, because they still have the competition from NBC, who right now with the contract that is currently still in place, they get the game. They can flex and they can do what they want to do. Now that it's switched back and forth too between CBS and Fox, that CBS now can get some NFC games, not just AFC. So there's a lot of people paying a lot of money. And I just think if you're Roger Goodell and the owners of the NFL, are you going to give your marquee matchups to ESPN when they are the least watched of the weekend?
But that is also your biggest financial partner. And so I can see the NFL going, we've got to get better games on Monday Night Football. They want to build up the Monday nights.
Well, then ESPN's going to have to pony up some cash.
Well, they already have.
Well, so is CBS and Fox and NBC.
But not to the same level. And that's why I say the investment being made, I've got to believe there's better matchups. Troy and Joe aren't going to do a Jacksonville-Cleveland Monday night game.
So CBS, and I know this personally,
you're
ponied
a CBS
up
guy.
about $6 billion. So you're telling me ESPN is ponied up more than $6 billion?
We've got a Google box right
here.
here.
We need to.
Let's see.
And I know Fox is about the same way, and NBC about the same way. So I can't imagine the executives at CBS, Fox, and NBC.
ESPN will pay about $2.7 billion a year to continue airing Monday Night Football, also added into the rotation of broadcast Super Bowls beginning in 2026. The agreement with ESPN starts 1 year earlier in 2022 because its current contract expires after that. How much does CBS pay? CBS pays slightly less than $2 billion annually.
I overshot there is what you're telling me.
I'm just saying. Not unusual. Because when you Google, then it asks all the other questions. Let's see. What does NBC pay for the NFL? $2 billion. Amazon, $1 billion. Yahoo and Verizon, $450 million. So yeah.
So Fox is a little less than $2 billion.
Yeah. CBS Viacom will be paying slightly less than $2 billion annually for its multi-platform package.
Well, I mean, so what did you say NBC pays?
Let me find the NBC one.
Because if I'm looking at that, and if I'm ESPN, obviously if I'm paying the most money, then yeah, I want the biggest games. But they haven't been getting those games. And I'm just wondering if it is because of the Monday night schedule. Monday Night Football used to be king. It's just not anymore. I mean, people are watching because they love football, but it's not the party on a Monday night that it used to be. Is it?
I'm sorry, I'm reading. I don't know what you're saying.
You're ignoring me. That's all right.
No, I'm reading about all these ridiculous numbers. CBS, which will retain its own Sunday afternoon NFL showcase while continuing to share the national 320 window with Fox, has agreed to pay some $1.85 billion per year. That marks an 80% jump from the $1.03 billion it pays the NFL under its current contract.
So that's a jump, and I'm reading here, and I'm not sure how
it's from
this is old.
March 18th of 2021.
Right. So Fox is the same way, $1.85 billion.
Yeah, and then ESPN redid their deal at $2.6 billion.
So what we
$2.7 billion.
What we know is that the NFL is king.
Yes.
It says here that the NFL inks 11-year, $105 billion media rights renewals.
Yep.
With all of its partners.
Yep.
$105 billion over the long
10
term.
years. Yeah. It's pretty good stuff. So if I were a betting man, I would put the odds at being really strong that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are calling Monday Night Football in September of this year. That they will figure it out. Fox will get, some bennies, some extra college games, because that's the bargaining chip. Maybe a little scratch to help Joe Buck, but Joe Buck's going to end up at ESPN this year. If I'm a betting man, I would take that bet.
Well, and if you were a betting man, I got the place just for you to go, and that would be BUSR.com, because they've got everything. They'll probably even take that bet from you, because that's what they do. They've got a sports book, but they've also got a casino there. And they've got a race book as well. You can play blackjack, roulette, 200 casino games. And I tell you what, we were on this thing yesterday, went in, signed up. It takes about 5 minutes to sign up. You can make a deposit, and once you do, they're going to give you a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for Sports Star listeners. It's that easy. You can go in. Everything is easy to use. You can see it. It's clear as day. So here's what you do. Go to BUSR.com/SportsStar. Again, that's BUSR.com/SportsStar. Go there, make a bet. A lot of college basketball going on this weekend. You can get started right there. They are your cure for your betting blues.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. San Antonio Sports Star Drive to End Hunger is going on now through March 25th. Just go to sasportstar.com to give what you can, or just find drop-off locations. It's all presented by the Institute for Functional Health, Rambler Sparkling Water, Copenhagen Imports, and Airtron.
With thousands of dollars in new tax credits this year, Jackson Hewitt understands there's a lot at stake this tax season. We have 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro, like giving you $100 just to switch. So that's 100. Then we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. That's 101. Finally, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund. That's 102. Want to discover 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Filing on your own or choosing the wrong partner can be stressful. Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your largest possible refund refund or your money back.
No, repeat.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment and say farewell to the stress of tax season. Liberty Tax. Let's end taxiety. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6 for lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at sasportstar.com.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Your home for sports talk is right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
And you heard it from the big voice guy there. You do some grilling this weekend and the weather's going to be perfect. Make sure you take a photo of what's on your grill, upload it at sasportstar.com, and you could win yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. It is the Blitz. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. When you're watching the Combine this week, and chances are you haven't seen him play, but you probably know his name. That quarterback from Liberty, Malik Willis.
Yep.
I don't know anything about him.
Going to Pittsburgh, according to every mock draft there is.
And he might, although, and looks like a hell of a quarterback. I can't say that I watched Liberty play.
Yeah, no.
All that gear you see those guys wearing at the Combine, one of the best parts of going is they load you up with a ton of gear. You know, it's kind of like when the Army All-American Bowl or the just the All-American Bowl. It's not the Army, but, you know, just the amount of gear that they get for these events. Malik Willis gave all his Combine gear to a homeless woman.
Oh, that's great.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about him. But most of those guys get their stuff and they got it forever. He saw a homeless woman and gave her clothes.
I think that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
That is great. And you know what? You can't fake that. That's just a good heart.
That's it.
I mean, that just is. There's no faking that. So way to go. That's awesome. But sincerely, I've seen that he will go. Well, and it's mock drafts, and it's hard to take them. But the Pittsburgh Steelers would like to draft him, according to most mock drafts that I've seen.
Well, they've got to find a quarterback.
They do.
And you look at, and a lot of us will spend some time this weekend watching the Combine. You got 3 kids from UTSA, you know, seeing some of the comments that they've been making on the podium when they've had their chances, you know, the 40 times. I mean, you know, UTSA is representing well there at the Combine, which is awesome. And they start spring practice, the Roadrunners do, on Monday.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It doesn't feel like it's that time.
I'm
right?
so happy.
But they do. I mean, we're getting close. But, you know, when you're watching, you know, like I said, I don't know anything about Malik Willis. By all accounts, he's a hell of a quarterback. But I'm a fan now, just reading that, knowing, like you said, that's just genuine.
That's genuine. You can't make that up. There's no question about it. So, you know, the quarterbacks, as far as that goes in the draft, Jason, there's not any projected really high in the first round. Trying to see here some of these.
Well, you look at it's It's not a quarterback deep draft. There is no Trevor Lawrence in this draft. I mean, Matt Corral will probably be a first rounder, but a late first rounder. But every year as you get closer, those that need a quarterback are going to fall in love with somebody. And then you'll see trades. I don't want to misquote anybody. Dane Bugler or one of them are talking about you might go 15 picks before you get your first quarterback off the board. There likely won't be a quarterback taken in the top 10.
Well, interesting that you say that. I'm looking. I just pulled up the CBS mock draft. They've got Willis going 9 to the Denver Broncos, but I've seen him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. And then the next quarterback you've got would be taken 2 picks later with the Washington Commanders, and that would be Desmond Ridder of the Cincinnati Bearcats. And then Corral, or is it Corral?
Matt Corral.
And God bless him. He got hurt in a bowl game. They've got him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what you're going to see is those 3 guys are the picks when it comes to quarterback, but where they land and who falls in love with them from now until draft time as to where they'll go.
Because when you look at it, and who knows, because you've got the Pickett kid as well, who's got the small hands, and they say, well, he can't play in cold weather, yet he played his college ball at the University of Pittsburgh outdoors, right? Mel Kiper's got him going 11 to Washington's football team. So, that's why I say at this time of year, things are so all over the road. Other than reading them to pick them apart, it doesn't matter until you see the league year start free agency. Then once free agency gets running, all of a sudden now you start seeing some different movement or real needs start coming into play. Kiper's got the Willis kid going to Liberty at number 20. So Pickett was the first quarterback off the board for him on this particular mock draft. And I think Matt Corral was going pretty late to Detroit at number 32.
Oh, my gosh.
Why would they do that to that poor kid? I mean, honestly.
That's terrible. But, a lot's going to depend on what happens with this quarterback carousel. I mean, do any of these veteran quarterbacks land somewhere else? And that could change the draft in a heartbeat.
I think Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay.
Right.
I think Russell Wilson stays in Seattle.
But you got Kirk Cousins, who might be on the move. Obviously, Deshaun Watson will be somewhere.
Carson Wentz could be an interesting play because
could be
after a year in Siberia, although it was a good year in Siberia, with the Buffalo Bills, does Mitch Trubisky get another chance?
I think he does. I've heard talk that he will.
With Indianapolis.
Yeah.
How bad do you suck, Carson Wentz, that they would replace you with Mitchell Trubisky? You guys enjoy your weekend. You got the Saturday morning hangover tomorrow morning at 9, R&R Monday at 7. We're back Monday at 4 o'clock. Have a great weekend.
Halftime with Michael Jimenez.
I've been asking